What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We are one day after Trump received probably some of the best news that he ever could have asked for, and that is keeping his name on the ballot in all 50 states. Colorado's effort to take Trump off the ballot resulted in a miserable failure, and that will indeed shut down that avenue for any other state in the union. But we're not going to be talking about that necessarily today. We're going to be asking the question, why is so many voters, what is it about Trump, why is there so many voters that refuse to view Trump in any other way other than negative? Why are there so many folks that dislike the former commander-in-chief? What is it about Trump that is so bad that a large portion of the American constituent just finds deplorable, for lack of a better word, in honor of Hillary Clinton? What is it about the guy? At the end of the day, many folks would suggest that under President Trump, we had a really good economy. Trump often bragged about the 3.5% unemployment rate, which at the time was phenomenal. I believe it's gotten even better under Biden, but under Trump, that was a phenomenal number. Under Trump, we know gas prices were very low. Some would suggest that that was something he inherited from President Obama. Nevertheless, it was happening under his watch, so he deserves some sort of credit for that. We didn't have the global conflicts that we do now under President Trump. So why do so many people dislike him? What is it about President Trump? Even though many folks, particularly Democrats in general, they're not really bitching about what America was like during his term. Nobody's complaining about $2 gas or lack of military conflicts globally. So what is it about President Trump that folks seem to dislike? What did he do to cause this? Or is President Trump individual looking to get this country back on track, and they're just attacking him for no reason at all? What is it about the former president just that simply does not resonate with at least 40 to 60% of Americans, depending on who you ask? Yeah, thank you, DJ Julio. Appreciate that, starting the show out right. We're going to talk about Mark Cuban. I mentioned this in one of the videos because Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Mark Cuban is also from Shark Tank. Kevin O'Leary's been going around the cable news outlet circuit really bashing the hell out of Trump, particularly because Trump lost that big case to Letitia James, some $335 million with an interest rate of $2.6 million accruing per month. Kevin O'Leary and a host of other businessmen have suggested that Biden, his administration, is not only destroying the economy, but particularly New York City. So Kevin O'Leary has a lot of choice words to say for Biden. Well, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank has a co-star, Mark Cuban, former owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He just stated yesterday that he wouldn't vote for Trump even if Joe Biden was on his deathbed receiving last rites. So Biden is about to perish. He has a priest standing over him, giving him his last rites, and he's still going to get the vote from Mark Cuban. Why do so many folks dislike President Trump? That is the sole question we're going to tackle today. You know how the show is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We run an uncensored program here. So we go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon, and everyone gets to speak. If you disagree with anyone in the comment section or even yours truly, no one gives a damn. That is how the program is ran. So we're going to go straight to the comments. Let's see right off the bat. Boricua Dave says, hatred. And that's what we're talking. Why do so many folks hate him that much? Why do so many folks hate President Trump to that degree? Because of hatred, plain and simple. Well, the hatred is coming from somewhere. Simply typing hatred in the comments. Let's assume that's correct. It has to derive from something. Do they hate him because he's a man? Do they hate him because he's white? Do they hate him because he's from New York? Does he hate him because he's something has caused the people to dislike the guy? Keep in mind, President Trump did not run for office until he was in his 70s. He damn sure wasn't hated before then. So what happened? What has led millions of folks, tens of millions of folks, to suddenly hate the guy? That's what we're asking. Going straight to the box. Start off with lies and ending in lies, says Yo-Yo. You can't play with my Yo-Yo. So he's just dishonest. That's what it is. Going straight to the box. We'll go straight to Country Hound Dog. I always think of the Elvis song when I see Hound Dog in the comments. Hound Dog, good afternoon. Hound Dog.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. So
I got a couple simple reasons I think that everybody wants to dislike and hate Trump, and I can't tell you how many of the what I consider special interests, like the LGBTQ and all that, the rhetoric that, well, what people, half of America calls rhetoric, where Trump has conservative values. It goes against things like that, and it also goes against. And conservative value sometimes goes against progressiveness. And because people want to progress, they see Trump as holding them back. Wow. They don't see Trump as helping us progress through a conservative view. They just see him as holding people back. And I think that's why so many people find it so easy to hate Trump.
So you're saying Trump wants to, you said regress. So you're saying he wants to stop progressives or progression. He wants to take us back to a previous era or something?
He don't want to stop progression. He just wants to go about it a different way. But if you look at how the Democrats label things and how they put things out there, it's very easy to follow along with them. Republicans, it's hard for people like in the LGBTQIA community. We're just going to pick on them, okay? Just because they're the easiest. It's hard for them to find where they align with Republicans at because the views are so different.
What views does the LGBT community have that are different from? I mean, everybody wants their country to be strong, wants a good economy. What views do the LGBT community have that are different from conservatives?
Well, I mean, and we'll pick on the Bible here, okay? We'll pick on the Bible, the Christian Bible. Christian Bible says that it's a sin to be gay or, les. All right, well, that's a conservative view, and LGBTQ, the LGBTQIA considers that a progressive view. When you have trans people, right now the Democrats. Hey, handsome, I gotta go. I got a road call.
Anytime, appreciate it. All right, Country, I get you got a phone call, appreciate it. I'll go ahead and drop you. Country Hound Dog is a friend of the program. I certainly would have liked to talk to him more, but in regards to what he was suggesting, and Hound Dog, you're always welcome back. In regards to the suggestion, Gomez, thank you for the hat and mustache. You guys are being kind today. Thank you. By the way, tap the screen. Nearly 500 of you in here on TikTok, and for my YouTube viewers, appreciate you folks tuning in. Feel free to smash that like button. By the way, when I ask to tap the screen or smash the like button, it helps out the algorithm. That's why I'm always asking. It brings in more MAGA because the program is MAGA friendly. That is what the For You page is oriented to. So feel free to smash the screen on TikTok and smash that like button. What he was suggesting, conservatives, Christian-based, LGBT, particularly being gay, is a sin. If what he is saying is true, and I wanted to follow up, that means there is no way the LGBT community and the conservative party can get along and work together at all. I mean, you show up to the gathering, you're a sinner. You're going to burn in hell. So is the LGBT community simply an unwanted voting bloc for the conservatives? A group of individuals that have no chance of getting into the pearly gates? Unwanted. What do you say? What say you? Looking in the comments, This is hilarious. The ignorance, says Mags. Well, Mags, feel free to come in the box. I won't censor you. I'll give you as much time as you need to let the host know how ignorant he is. And I'll respect you the whole time. If you get it right, I'll even concede the point and thank you for your knowledge. We run an uncensored program, Mags. Don't just label someone ignorant. Follow it up with some actual content. Going back to the box. We'll make it happen with Electric Wolf 45. Good afternoon, Electric Wolf. Why do so many folks, Wolf, good afternoon. Why do so many folks seem to dislike President Trump? Good economy, no global conflicts. What is it about Trump that they don't like?
Well, I think, hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, loud background.
I think what it is, the reason they don't like him is because he doesn't sugarcoat things. He's kind of like a bull in a china shop. That's really the only way I can figure it. He just comes in pounding away, even when he doesn't need to sometimes. He just kind of drills down his point. This is the way it is. And, everybody says it's because he's a New Yorker. And I can see that because I've met a lot of people from New York like that. But Texans are the same way, too. They're just a little more, I guess, finessed on it, on how to be very straightforward. Like, look, I ain't gonna mess around. This is how I feel. But they put it in a different way where it's a little more palatable.
Yeah, but hold on. Now, what you stated is correct. A lot of folks attributed to Trump being a New Yorker. During September 11th, Rudolph Giuliani, known as America's mayor, was receiving all these accolades, and folks thought he was really responsible. I don't remember Giuliani ever acting like that when he was in the limelight. He wasn't acting like a typical New Yorker. He was very respectful. I don't get it.
Well, yeah, but he was a politician, though. Trump's not.
Okay.
He was a politician, and Trump's not. Think about it, handsome. Someone puts you in the White House right now, which I wouldn't mind, because you're a regular human being, just like you're a regular American, just like all of us. You have the right to do it. I would vote for you. I would vote for me. All these politicians think that they have a stick up their ass, thinking they're the only ones that can be president. Anybody above the age of 35 with a brain can be president. It's that simple. The thing is, if you go in, you're not going to be able to hold up with their plethora of big words and here and there, but you're going to get your point across. You know what I mean? And they're going to be like, oh, this guy's so uneducated and all this, and oh my God, how uncouth. How can we invite him to all these dinners and stuff? Because this political class has evolved into thinking they're the only ones that can do this.
But here's the issue, though.
The regular people have realized it.
But here's the issue, Wolf. When you suggest that Trump is not a typical politician, and that's why he didn't act like, say, the likes of Rudolph Giuliani, he's now served an entire term. This is the phrase I often use. You can't be about to go to prom saying I'm not a typical student. You're about to graduate. You've done all 4 years. At this point, Trump is a politician. Why isn't it sinking in that how you talk matters?
Well, the thing is, I think it is, because believe it or not, I think he softened himself a lot from the way he was. I really do. And it may not be to everybody's liking, but I really do think he's come a long way as far as the way he speaks. He's never going to be the politician we want. He's never going to be that, God, why does he have to say things like, no, he's not. He's always going to be a straight shooter, and we're all going to love him or hate him for it.
But
we're all going to get offended or not offended.
And Johnny D, thank you for those likes. Appreciate that. You see referring to the likes of Nikki Haley as a bird brain. Do you see that as being a straight shooter?
I wish he would stop saying that, but I don't care. I don't care. The thing is that she's a Democrat and she knows it. She's going to probably run third party. She's already pretty much said that 40% of her voting base, 50% of that is Democrats. So it doesn't really surprise me. Him calling her bird brain, it's not going to bother me. I mean,
wait a minute. You said
she's a woman.
You said him calling her bird brain does not bother you. I have to ask, and I know you're MAGA, there's nothing wrong with that, legitimate reason to vote for Trump, but does any of his insults bother you? Give me an insult that you've heard from Trump, and he's had a hell of a lot of them. Give me an insult that Trump has stated that actually bothered you.
There's so many. but I just don't even think they bother.
Not one.
I'm trying to think. Unless you can think of one, maybe. But I still can't remember one that's like, oh my God, that's so offensive. I think I'm gonna have to take a shower. No, I mean that's not. I mean everybody calls each other worse names, and in history, politicians called themselves worse names too.
Okay.
I mean that's just the way it is. It's just our words have gotten worse as far as our insults have gotten more vulgar. But in those times back then, they were just as vulgar. So please,
okay.
I mean, the thing I want is a job done with the country, and I think Trump's going to be the one to do it. Hopefully he wins. If he doesn't, whatever.
So
I don't know what to tell you.
So if Biden gets reelected, what type of America do you see on his second go-round?
Oh, I think it's going to be horrible. I mean, I think we're going to be one step closer to dismantling the country, but it'll completely be dismantled by the time I'm dead, so I won't have much to worry about.
All right.
I mean, it's going to go in a way that I don't think it is the way America should, because I just think now the politicians, now the left-leaning politicians right now want this country to be brought down to a third world level.
Damn.
They want us. They think we're too high and mighty, and they're representatives of this country, but they represent outside forces and outside interests, and I think they just want to bring us down because America, this experiment is going too well. We want to bring it down more.
Here's the issue I have, and I refer to what you're mentioning. Biden is going to dismantle this country, third world nation. I often refer to that as Armageddon politics because I remember the time when Obama was running. And we were told if Obama gets elected, I believe Newt Gingrich said gas would be $5 a gallon. Everybody's guns would be taken away, and we would be turned into socialist Greece. At the time, Greece was the country that was falling apart. Now it's Venezuela they're using, but they said Obama was going to destroy this country. When Trump got elected, when he was sworn in office in January 2017, I don't recall us being in such dire straits.
Well, no, I mean, and I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not being Armageddon about it. It's my opinion that they're trying to destroy the nation little by little. Do I think that Obama contributed some of this? Absolutely, because he refused to be a person proud of their country, and he wanted to be accepted by the world like it was a sorority or a frat. Like, oh man, we have to be accepted by the whole world. When the thing is, being American, we're such a special, different monster with everybody because of the fact that we have so many cultures that make up this country. This country is not made up of just one culture. We have multiple cultures that make up the country, that we're born here and everything else. Most countries don't have that. They're very sanitized. The thing is that that's what's the beauty of America. But the problem is these guys don't see that, and they're like, no, we have to be like every other country so that we can be the cool kids. We're already the cool kids. We're already who people want to be, but our representatives lose sight of that, and they think, no, we need to bring them down. We need to bring them down a notch. And the thing is, I think when Trump won, he kind of stopped that transition into a third world. And then Biden comes in and, well, you see what's happening. So if I see another Biden administration, I think it's just going to get worse and progressively worse. But again, it's not Armageddon. It's just I'm just going to accept it. Hey, man, we tried. You guys want to go
well, you're saying it's... Okay, I do got to move it on, but you're saying it's not Armageddon, but at the same time, you use the word dismantle. How close to Armageddon can you get in a dismantled nation?
Well, like I said, let's see how close we get. Let's see how much they can do. Look at the damage, handsome. Look at everything that they're trying to do, that they're trying to disrupt. They're trying to stop kids. I mean, the whole abortion issue and everything on the left hand is so destructive for people. But there's a lot of people that support it, and I'm like, hey, man, you guys do you. You guys want to be the side of injuring kids.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, though. How do you...
knock yourselves out.
How do you think America was running under Trump as president, in your opinion?
I think it was doing well. I mean, the thing is like you guys were just talking about the homosexual thing, where you're like, oh, well, there's no place for homosexuals in the Republican Party. Sure, there is. Absolutely that there is. The problem is that there's Christians, extreme Christians, like the gentleman that you had that's like, well, it's a sin. Okay, if let's say it's a sin or whatever, that's between them and God, not us. I'm not here to judge people.
Yeah, let me ask you that. Now you're making some interesting points. I'll keep you for a minute, but two things. First of all, you mentioned what the left is doing with abortion, and I followed up by asking you how the country was doing under Trump, and you said great. The reason why I asked you that, because abortion was legal the entire time Trump was in office, and you're admitting the country was doing just fine. So I don't quite understand it. Also, when you mentioned the LGBT movement and Christianity, at the end of the day, that is a large segment of the right side of the aisle, is these Christians that are saying the LGBT movement.
Well, yeah, but they don't all think that way. They don't think that. That's the thing. This guy can't speak for the entire conservative or Republican movement either. He's just one of many. The thing is, I think they're a minority that think, oh, no, all gays are going to go to hell and all that stuff. Well, nobody believes that. Nobody believes that.
Well,
like I said, everything's between them and God.
I agree with you.
The abortion.
Yeah, I agree with you that no one person should speak for the entire party, but one rioter or looter speaks for all of Black Lives Matter. One socialist speaks for all of the Democratic Party. I don't think that changes with evangelicals.
One J6er speaks for all the Trump supporters.
Right. That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but see, that's why we're trying to look past all that. And like I said, like with the abortion thing, abortion should have never been decided by the Supreme Court. It should have been up to the states. Now it's where it belongs. The thing is when I was talking about abortion under Trump, the Democrats and the liberals and progressives, they wanted to go to 9 months.
Yeah.
That, it doesn't matter. After they're born, they can go ahead and then alive them. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
To me, that's a talking point. They need to produce some evidence of people having 9-month abortions. Right now, it's just a talking point.
Not having them. Suggesting it. Just to suggest it itself is grotesque.
Well,
and the guy from the governor, I think, of Virginia, he's the one that was on the table and make him feel comfortable.
But Wolf,
what a piece of human garbage.
How is suggesting a 9-month abortion grotesque, but suggesting that we build a moat with dangerous animals in it to help kill off immigrants not the same grotesque level? Trump has suggested doing some pretty grotesque shit to immigrants.
It's a deterrent. We're going to deter them. Okay. We don't want them unalived.
All right.
We're just trying to say, oh shit, there's alligators in there. We're going to go back. That's what we want. We don't want food.
You're sending immigrants to winter climates without clothes and saying, I don't want them unalived.
Hey, that's not. They wanted to come, and the sanctuary cities wanted them. We're just sharing the wealth. We're sharing the wealth. That's what they wanted. That's what they're going to get. We're just being kind, and we're sharing with our fellow states.
All right, Wolf. Appreciate
Texas. Don't blame it on Texas.
You win this argument. I appreciate you coming through. You know how we do. Good talk, Wolf.
2024. Don't forget to vote.
Good luck. Good luck. Moving on with the program. I always enjoy talking to Electric Wolf. He's certainly MAGA. Always welcome on the program. Real quick, I'm going to solicit particularly for my YouTubers, over a couple hundred of you in here. Feel free to smash that like button. It's a little hard to get that out of you guys. His children is a choice. Yeah, Robert, listen, I lean left. I can't back that up at all. I don't see any legitimate reason to force someone who has been forcibly impregnated to carry a baby to term. I think that's just cruel. I think that is about as clear of a picture of saying I don't give a damn about the mother as you can, because what about her mental health when she starts feeling some dude's baby kicking inside of her? Is it possible that could drive her to want to take her own life? Nobody gives a damn. Just make sure you have that baby. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. And maybe my last caller may have stated it correctly. Maybe it's just extremists, but those are actual laws on the books. Those are some of the states are actually trying to force that. Happened in Ohio, by the way. Speed Racer, thank you for that crane. Appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. Nearly 900 of you in here. Get your boy up to around 30,000 likes. Let's make it happen. Going back to the box, We'll make the program. We'll keep it. Oh shit! I just hit the wrong thing here. There we go. All right, we'll keep it moving with Courtney Lurdon. Good afternoon, Courtney. Trump wants to take away women's rights. Well, what about the notion that he's simply trying to give it back to the states? Courtney, do you see Trump as trying to take away women's rights?
I think he's trying to take a lot of the rights away.
Give me some examples.
I've been on here before, and I believe that if Trump becomes president, he will not leave.
So you think he's trying to take away democracy?
In whatever positions they need to be, that he will not leave until he dies.
Wow. How could he do that?
It's Trump. Who knows how he's going to do that?
I don't know. I mean, we had 4 years of President Trump. I mean, I guess there was some problems on the way out. Do you think he was trying to stay in forever back then?
I think so. Well, not forever, but just everything I hear now from him, sometimes I am flabbergasted by him, but I believe that he will not leave office if he gets in there.
How did you see the country under Trump's presidency? How do you think America was being ran from 2017 to 2021? Do you think the country was running in a functional capacity?
I believe it was run kind of crazy because he has people that other positions that are telling him what to do.
They all wait, Courtney. Every president has people in position telling them what to do. That's the purpose of your cabinet. You're not an expert on everything. So you got the Joint Chiefs of Staff, you got the Secretary of Education. That is what happens. That's what they're supposed to do.
Right, you're right. I've been thinking about this for a long time, but I don't believe that he's going to leave if he becomes president, unless he gets sick or dies.
So taking it from the notion of you believe he's a threat to democracy, if we took that threat out of it and just saw him as commander-in-chief, do you think he is a more effective leader than Biden or worse in terms of the policies passed for this nation?
Boy, that's a hard question because Biden is so old.
So it's about time we get rid of Biden is what you're saying.
Right. I believe Biden's got people surrounded by him that would help him, to stay the course. Where Trump, I think, would just be on his own and just fly by his pants.
Well, I do believe Trump was flying by the seat of his pants last time. Trump doesn't take orders, he gives them. So based on what you're saying, Biden is old, but you do believe some other folks might prop him up weekend at Bernie style. Is it safe to say you have the same viewpoint as Shark Tank's host, Mark Cuban, who stated he would rather vote for Biden even if he was on his deathbed receiving his last rites than vote for Trump? Do you have the same sentiment?
You know I do.
Oh my God. So you really think Trump is a bad president? You really think he's bad for America?
God, I don't even know why he ran for president the first time. I don't know if it's for ego or if it's, he has no experience. He's not experienced now, but I just don't know.
Well, I can answer that. There's no shortage of videos on President Trump on Oprah back in the 80s and things like that. Even back then, he was complaining that the Japanese were ripping us off. When he ran, he said the Chinese and the Mexicans were doing it. Talked about NATO not keeping up their end in the defense budget. Trump has seen a vision for America that goes back to the 80s. He just waited until 2016 to pull the trigger. But he ran because he's always thought he could do better in regards to how this country is ran. If you watch his old videos, that's why he ran.
Right. But I think since he ran, there's something going on. He must think he's higher than God himself.
Damn.
Like I said it before on your program that he will not leave unless he's pushed out.
Wow.
He will put people in positions to where if he wants to stay again, because he'll say it's like Roosevelt that had 3 terms. There's no reason that he thinks he can't run 3 terms.
Wow. That's scary. That is scary. All right, Courtney, I do got to move it on, but that's a frightening picture. I'll give you the last word.
I said that's very scary, and people should really think about it.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you coming through. Always welcome back, Courtney. Thank you. Looking in the comments, it's not a fair comparison. Biden had to fix Trump's mess when he came into office. Well, folks on the right believe that Trump fixed some of Obama's messes. We can debate what messes Obama left behind or what messes that Trump left behind, but folks on different sides of the aisle have a difference of opinion. Remember, Biden came in office and he undid a lot of executive actions of Trump. Trump came in office and he undid a lot of executive actions of Obama. Biden, particularly with the border, is now realizing maybe he undid a few too many, but that's what we're talking about. Why do so many folks, so many constituents, so many voters dislike, or for lack of a better term, hate President Trump? Most folks favor the economy and the way the country is being ran under him globally. So what is it about Trump that so many people dislike? That's what we're talking about. Feel free to tap the screen on TikTok. Let your thumbs not be lazy. For my simulcast on YouTube, if you enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle without any concern of the host blocking, banning, or censoring you, you're in the right place. We run an uncensored program. Never here to tell you how you should think, simply about hearing what you have to say. That's how the program has always been ran in its entirety. It is MAGA friendly. Going to the comment section real quick. If reelected, don't give Trump credit what Biden has accomplished. Listen, I agree that if Biden has accomplished things, he deserves credit for that. I agree with that. But that's kind of how it works. And sometimes your accomplishments are not realized until the next administration. And when that happens, they take credit for it. That's how politics works. What mess? Trying to free nonviolent blacks from prison, says Joseph Kuhn, suggesting that President Trump freed African Americans from prison. Here's what I don't understand. President Trump stated, and I'll go back to the box. You guys let me know if I'm full of shit on this, and you know how we do, uncensored. We've heard constantly, racism ended hundreds of years ago. This is a post-racial America. Blacks need to get the hell over this stuff and understand that was hundreds of years ago. All of a sudden, we're being told a crime bill, which happened in the 90s in most of our lifetime, was absolutely racist as hell. Back then, they were telling us there's no racism when we were actually complaining about the crime bill. President Trump is suggesting his mugshot is drawing blacks to him out of sympathy because they also get victimized by the system. We're hearing that. What happened to hundreds of years ago? Why are there so many folks on the right suddenly admitting that blacks are being mistreated? I don't get it. The FBI is after Trump. We have a weaponized justice system. How many blacks have said that? What happened to it ended hundreds of years ago? I have never had so many folks on the right suggesting that blacks are being mistreated in my life. Got someone right now. Trump was freeing blacks who had been wrongfully incarcerated. I didn't think that happened. That ended hundreds of years ago. Where is all this coming from? Looking in the box. Going to Moo the Tuxedo Cat. Always a pleasure. Moo, make it happen. I don't know what's going on with the boxer real quick. Totally agree. When it's convenient for them. Hang on, Moo, I'm at the drive because I don't see you, and I know the box is obviously messed up. We'll keep it moving. Angie Smith. When it's convenient for them, someone said, and I don't get it. I don't get it. All of a sudden, folks are claiming that racism is real. Angie, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. I just want to start out. I enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Because you don't have a whole panel full of people up there arguing and you can't hear any points or anything going on. So
yeah. We try not to do that. I don't like the chaos. I like to be able to focus on the caller, so we do it one-on-one. So we're talking about Trump and the notion that so many people dislike the guy, even though a lot of the metrics under Trump were favorable. Why do so many people dislike Trump?
Well, again, as I've stated before, your character can take you a lot further than your skill. Because of the things that he lets come out his mouth, talking about grabbing women by their private parts and, making fun of handicapped people and, an all-around bad businessman, even though people call him a businessman, he wasn't that great. He was great at maneuvering his way around the legals.
Yeah.
So,
well, I gotta take your end part about he was great at maneuvering his way around the legals. He's doing some really good dancing right now and beating the hell out of the legal system. What say you?
Well, you know why that is? Because the people that he's already put in place is something that, in my personal opinion, that he's already done business with, or they're lined their pockets and things like that with already. And especially, we've all, I don't know if we've all heard it, but I know I've heard how, what's his name, Clarence Thomas has received gifts from people, and Trump is no different than those people who he's received gifts from. So, he kind of fell through the cracks, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, when he rose to power, he told his supporters, "You're going to get tired of winning." Is it possible we're now starting to realize that he's starting to have a lot of good days in court?
I really can't speak to that much. I think it's just to see how far it's going to go with the election and stuff like that. But number one, he'll never go to jail. They'll never send him to prison. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Is that not a huge victory to be charged with 91 crimes and never spend a day in jail? That's a huge victory, right?
In his case, absolutely is. And this is why a lot of people of color that don't support him don't understand, because there's no way, me as a black woman, that I could stand in front of any judge on any level and get away with the things that he's been getting away with.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
You can't tell me that he was not greasing the palms of some or half of these people.
But what about...
Think that makes sense?
Yeah, oh, hell yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, none of us would get away with that. I said before that even the way he was acting in court, giving out people's addresses, none of us would escape without a contempt time in jail. We would be found in contempt for doing that and spend time in jail. So he has benefited. But what about the notion that, for all intents and purposes, he's going to be on the ballot and he has a really good chance of being our next president?
Well, he was on the last ballot against Biden.
Yeah.
He was winning the popularity vote then. So a lot of people will put up a front like, oh, we support. At the end of the day, we don't know who you're voting for when you go inside that booth.
True. So you think there may be a lot of false Trump supporters out there?
Yeah, for the neighbor's sake. So to speak. So a lot of times people get in these conversations because they need to rub elbows with certain type of people. So I'm going to make this conversation sound good. And then at the end of the day, you're voting for Biden.
Wow.
So,
I don't totally disagree with that. I'll give you one aspect. We know a lot of women are unhappy with the Dobbs decision and rolling back Roe v. Wade, but it is often said that women will follow the choice of their husbands. There could be a lot of women, to illustrate your point, that are telling their husbands they're going to support his candidate of choice, but then when they go in the ballot box, they may do something different. You could be right.
No, and I believe it's very possible. And let me tell you something. Even though she's not really winning, and I probably would never vote for her, but this is why Nikki Haley is still in this race, believe it or not. Because you do have a lot of the LBG, no disrespect, but the LMNOP community and, female voters. We're really, big out there. And I just asked that question the other day. Can you actually be in a relationship with somebody who has different religious or political views? Because this is, first of all, a lot of people say, oh, I don't vote, I don't do this. Listen, the politicians.
You went on mute, Angie. I believe she got a phone call. I will give her a minute. Nikki Haley will quit tonight, says Gomez. Possible. It is Super Tuesday. You could be right about that. Angie, are you still there?
Sorry.
Angie, are you there?
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Can you? Okay. So it's repeat. I'm sorry. It's getting an echo.
All right, I'll move it on. Apparently we got a signal issue. I'll move it on.
Okay.
So looking in the comments, Nikki Haley will quit tonight, says Gomez. I don't totally disagree with that. It is Super Tuesday, but Nikki Haley is resilient. Obviously, she is working from a different angle than actual electoral votes. I mean, she is getting trounced. There's no one, not a single political analyst out there that believes Nikki Haley has a chance in hell of winning. So she's working from an angle that Trump may get disqualified. Well, yesterday's ruling should set her mindset back. What I never understood about Nikki Haley or any of those other folks, with the exception of maybe Chris Christie, why get in a race if you're only going to compliment the number one contender? Even right now, Nikki Haley is suggesting that the justice system is weaponized against Trump. She stated that she would pardon him. She hasn't ruled out that she would support him. He's in the fucking race still. Why would anyone support you? You're telling us he was a great guy, and he's still running for president. Why don't we just reelect him? He's still there. Why vote for you? So I never could understand that. Now, Nikki Haley has went south on Trump a little bit. She now attacks him. But many would argue it's a little too late. I mean, she spent most of her campaign, just like Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, and the rest of them, attacking each other, but dodging every single question pertaining to Trump. Even now, Nikki Haley was on Meet the Press this week, and I watch all the Sunday shows. Every time she was asked a question about Trump, well, I'm not really thinking about that right now. That's not my focus. Made no sense. Why run? Trump, if you asked him what he had, his feelings about Nikki Haley, he wouldn't hesitate to tell you what he think about Nikki Haley, even though she has no chance of catching up to him. That's what folks want in a candidate. Someone who will tell you flat out how they feel. All of that ducking and dodging did not make any of them look any good. And then Tim Scott getting up there talking about he's in love with the man. I don't know. Is that some Christian LGBT shit? I don't know what that was. Going back to the box, why would you run against the dude if you're in love with him like that? Why don't you marry his ass? Blessed and favored. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Trump has dirt on Tim Scott. Then why run against Trump? Why run against him? Just ask for a cabinet position. Blessed. Good afternoon.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good. So why do so many folks seem to dislike number 45? The country apparently was economically running very nice, very well. Why do so many people dislike Trump?
Because people can't handle the truth. They want people to lie to them. It makes them feel good. This is not just with Trump. This is our society. There's a lot of truths out there that will upset people. And you're not allowed to speak it. If you do, you're going to be called racist, you're going to be called this or whatever, but they can't handle the truth.
So you see Trump as being factual and all the other candidates as being liars or something?
Yeah, I'd rather go to bed knowing what Trump said, because I know it was coming out of his heart, it's real, than a politician telling me ice cream stuff. And we don't know what the hell's going on. We got to think, is that real? We know when that man speaks Trump, this is what he means, this is what he's going to do, and I can sleep on that. He's real. He's a real person, like you meet on the streets, like a mob boss. He's going to say a lot of crazy things, but he's going to build the beautiful playgrounds. And he's going to make sure the people are happy, but you're not going to like to see the dirty side where he's killing people, he's doing this. Because he's trying to protect, he's trying to make things right, but it's not going to look pretty all the time.
So at the end of the day, you see Trump, though, as a truthful individual.
He speaks his heart. That's why people hate him. He's just going to say, this is what I do. This is what it is. This is what he believes. Even if you don't like it, you got to respect the man says what he means.
Yeah, but it's a difference between speaking what's in your heart and telling the truth. I'm asking, do you see him as a truthful person?
Yes.
Okay.
With the people. Now, sometimes he's going to have to manipulate people to get a policy done and do what he's doing, but he's working for the people is what I'm saying.
I want to ask you a few questions on that, but real quick, I did want to acknowledge Sandy with that super chat suggesting that if Biden were to legalize marijuana, it could help propel them to victory. Do you think legalizing marijuana, you think that would have a significant impact on the election?
I think it's going to make a lot of stupid people in America.
How so? I mean, people getting high anyway.
I mean, look what alcohol is doing. This is just ridiculous. I mean, this is why other countries, China, Russia, these countries are run really good. Yeah, they got dictatorship, but they don't put up with that shit. So they don't have people crashing into people, killing people, drinking, and being out of their minds while they're on the road. They have a more unified public.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because she said Biden will lose if he allows immigration to be the #1 issue. If Biden used an executive order to legalize weed, taxing it, and forgive convictions, he wins. I kind of agree with you somewhat. I don't believe it'll make a lot of stupid people, but in regards to the argument, if Biden allows illegal immigration to be the #1 issue, I don't think he has a choice in that at this point. Too many liberals now, thanks to Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis, who what they did was kind of smart, even though I don't like the inhumanity of it. But thanks to them, you can't turn down the fact that immigration is the #1 issue. Even liberals now has propelled that to the top. So if Biden ignores immigration, he's dead. But in regards to what you're saying, that you see Trump as the guy said he never knew Stormy Daniels until she started producing pictures of him and describing his penis. Why would he lie if he's so honest?
What? I mean, this is a typical man.
Typical men lie. Typical men are not honest. We lie sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, that being said, we can relate to him as a man. Don't you relate to him when he says that? Like, oh my God, I wouldn't want to get caught with that. You know what I mean? Most men, 99% of the men will do that. He did it. So we understand that. So we didn't hold that against him so much because we're a man too. So we understand what's going on with that. I'm
fine with not holding it against him. Where I disagree is saying he's honest. I mean, he's a typical man. A typical man will lie. He also said he never knew who E. Jean Carroll was. Never spent any time with her until once again she too started producing pictures of them together. I mean, so he's done it with 2 of these folks. Not to mention, we know he's cheated on his wife because Melania Trump told Barbara Walters in an interview when she asked, how did you meet your husband? She said he was on a date with another woman. He snuck away from her to get her phone number. So where's the honest part?
So here's the thing. Here's the analogy I can give you. You go to a heart doctor, he's the best in the world, but he's cheating on his wife, he's lying, he's stealing. We're going to him to get our heart done. I don't care what he's doing, how many women he's sleeping with, how many guys. I don't care about that. I want my heart done right. He's the best in the world at doing it. That's why I go to a heart doctor. He's good at running a country. He's good at business. He's good at this. Yeah.
So let me make sure I'm getting clarity. So you care about the job. You don't give a damn about who he's sleeping with.
No, I don't care. I don't care what he's doing after hours. I don't care if he's going with prostitutes. I don't care about that. He's great at his job.
You just exonerated Fannie Willis. You just exonerated Fannie Willis by saying that.
Yeah. Listen, like I said, if you're a great electrician, you're the best around.
My last caller, give you a second. I think he has a call. Are you there? Give you a second. I think he has a call. Are you there?
Yes.
Give you a second. I gotta drop you. I don't know what happens, but once a caller gets a phone call and then he come back, we get this ridiculous echo. So, Bless, good conversation. Definitely would have liked to talk to you a bit more, but we can't communicate with it echoing like that. So understand you're always welcome back on the program. When they move the center line 500 miles to the left, the normal people become right-winged. I would have to really, that came from YouTube. I kind of get it. But because I'm running the show, I can't get my mind to really elaborate. I kind of get what you're saying. I do kind of get what you're saying, but I need some time to really let that marinate. I'll take a mob boss who cares for his community over a lying politician selling out his community. Think on that one. Well, I can easily think on that one. Who in the community is being hurt by that mob boss? That's, listen, I'm from the south side of Chicago, and I'll go back to the box. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Over 1,000 of you on TikTok. Get your boy up to about 60,000. Feel free to help out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. It's an uncensored program. MAGA's always welcome. So tap the screen, liberals as well. Feel free to smash that like button on YouTube. Now, in regards to a mob boss, doing what it takes to help the community. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I knew drug dealers who would really look out for kids on the block, buy them a new bike, hand them out a few bucks, maybe help out a mom that's struggling in the area. But they are drug dealers. They are responsible for a lot of what we used to call cluckers, hypes, folks who are addicted to substances, stealing and robbing in the neighborhood so that they could purchase more drugs from them. So the fact that this mob boss is looking out for you doesn't excuse all the people that they're hurting to give you a few bucks. All of the money you're receiving is blood money. So when you say, I'd rather have a mob boss that does for the community, well, who are the victims of that mob boss? The mob has a lot of victims. So, I mean, what are you? You're going to pretend like you are the good guy that Peter Pan is robbing from, or however that fairy tale goes? I don't favor that. You're either good or you're not. I don't know about, favoring a mob boss because you're on the receiving end of his deeds, knowing that he's out in the street at night pulling off capers. That's what we want in a commander-in-chief. Looking in the comments, great way to explain who Trump is. He is a thief, says Corinne. Yikes. Well, I didn't say it. I got it out of the comment section. I got it from someone else that supports Trump. Going back to the box, hallowed be thy name. We'll go straight to, I think it said hallowed be. So, Democrats say,
how you doing today?
Oh, it's Keith. Keith, good afternoon. So, Trump, why do so many people hate the guy?
I don't think it's more of, me personally, I don't hate the man.
Would you vote for him?
No.
Why not?
I would not vote for him because, like that guy said, he'd rather have the mob boss and all that. That makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of immoral, but it does make sense.
But my thing is, he's talking about the job that Trump done. Yeah. Trump is a failed businessman.
He's pretty damn rich.
Well, that's what they say.
I wish I could financially be such a failure. He's pretty damn rich, man.
Well, you got to think about, that's why he got the cases now. All the loans that he got, he exploded his wealth net worth. And people, he probably was only allowed to get 50 million, and he exploited his net worth to get 200 million. If you can do that to several banks, of course you can become rich because you can get building a stockpile on lies and not being truthful.
So what you believe he's a dirty businessman?
He's a dirty person.
Oh. 74 million votes, Keith. 74 million for a dirty person. How did he get so much love if he's that dirty?
Because of the way America thinks now. And the evangelical Christians and all that, they believe that this man is a pretty much a god.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the man has rolled back the Dobbs decision, giving the evangelicals something they've been waiting for 50 years. Reagan couldn't do it. Bush the elder couldn't do it. George W. Bush couldn't. Here comes Trump. Within 4 years, he's given them something that they've hoped for 50 years. Maybe he is a god in their eyes.
And it's sad because they worship him like a god. And he's a man. He's a man. I mean, it's just like all the decisions Roe v. Wade and things like that. My thing is, he's such a Christian. Even God give us the right to have free will. He give us the right to worship him.
But do you think God would be pro-choice for women?
I'm pretty sure he would. Because he's for everybody.
You think God would be okay? A woman is pregnant. She decides in her second or third month she don't want the kid because she's no longer with the man. You think God would be okay with her going and terminating that pregnancy?
But it's not just that. I mean, you got women that's been SA.
Yeah, but what about the example I gave?
Okay, your example, I couldn't answer that question. I don't know how God would think. I'm not the one that's going to backpedal. I couldn't answer that question.
Okay.
Because I'm not God. Because right now, everything's basically on how people feel. What
Well,
makes them feel.
but speaking of feeling, do we hate, when we say we, folks on the left, because in the comments, Corey B says, Trump could cure cancer and the Democrats will still hate him. Are folks just hating Trump just because?
I don't think so. I think they hate him because of how his policy and the things that he stands for.
Give me some examples.
If we had I'm the type of person, I want a president that for everybody. First of all, he come up with this slogan, come out and just throw this "Make America Great Again." That was one of the biggest things. I'm like, when have America been great for majority of the people? Only time America been great was for people of his type.
Business people of his type, rich businessmen. Are we talking about? I mean, is that what we talking about? Rich businessmen?
Yes, rich businessmen. Yes, because even when Trump it was in everybody. I hear people say, "Oh, Trump was so good, the economy was so great." A lot of these same people that's living in these poverty are still in poverty when Trump had 4 years. They never got out of poverty.
Well, but the counter argument to that, Keith, is that Trump gave them an avenue, great jobs numbers, low unemployment rate for them to get out of poverty. Now they may have not made the decision to take what he was giving them, but the argument is that under Trump, you had a good chance of escaping poverty. It's up to you to take the olive branch. So they're suggesting that, Trump actually paved the way for us all to be better off.
Trump did not pave the way. If you know how government works, if a policy will pass, it may take several years before it to come into effect. Trump came in on a good economy.
Yeah, that is true.
The economy was good when he came in. Now, he had the right, when the pandemic came around, to make it right or wrong. He made it wrong. He wanted to lie, "Oh, it's not a problem, it's not a problem." And when it got too far along, then it's time to try to fix it. But then it was too late. The economy was booming. The economy was going up. And Trump came in, went back down with the pandemic, and now the economy's starting to come back up.
But wait a minute. The pandemic, Trump was sworn in January of 2017. The pandemic did not really take off until early of 2020. So 3 years, the first 3 years of Trump's presidency, we did not have any pandemic. How do you view economically his performance the first 3 years of his presidency?
Because the performance was already in a spiral. If you look at it was already going up. The economy was already doing better.
Okay. So for 3 years, the economy was going up, and you're saying he gets no credit because it was just going up on his own.
Well, I don't feel like he should get all the credit.
Did you give him some? Did you give the man any credit?
I give him some. He maintained it to a certain extent.
Okay, and that because if he screwed the economy up, you'd be hammering him, would you not?
He did screw it up when he made the decision.
I mean, before the pandemic, the first 3 years Trump was in office, you're saying it was already going up. I'm assuming you're crediting that to Obama, so you're hesitant to give Trump credit. But what I'm saying is if he had got in office and screwed the economy up, you would have held him accountable for screwing it up, but he can't get any credit because you're giving that to Obama. That's not fair judgment of Trump. It's basically saying the only grade you'll give him is a bad one.
Well, like I said, he maintained it.
So he deserves accolades for that, right?
Well, okay, he gets accolades for that. I will give you that.
It's okay to compliment the man. Listen, you don't have to like Trump, but I don't want to get under the notion that everything he did was bad. It's okay to give him a compliment every now and then, is it not?
I really...
So you don't see... So in your opinion, Trump didn't do anything good for America?
I'm thinking that I can't think of anything.
All right, fair enough. And Trump said the same thing about Obama, so I'm not going to hammer you too much because Jesse Waters of Fox News asked Trump, has Obama done anything good for America? And he said, no, nothing at all. So I can't I can't come after you for saying something that Trump himself. Keith, been a pleasure talking to you. I do got to move it on, though.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Love your platform.
Thank you. Anytime, anytime. Looking in the comments, he played a lot of golf, says Dennis B. Well, they were saying that about Obama, too. I believe Rush Limbaugh at the time was counting how much tax dollars Obama was spending on golf. All of a sudden, Trump became president, and all of the desire to count tax money disappeared. So some of this some of this stuff is political. It's just plain politics. And I'm going to play politics right now by asking you guys to tap the screen, get your boy on up to 75,000. Over 1,000 of you in here. You can get me up to 75,000 likes. It is an uncensored program. 500 plus of you on YouTube. Wow. Thank you. Even though most of you are not smashing the like button, I do appreciate the audience on YouTube. Looking in the comments, Biden left masks off. If it wasn't for Trump, we wouldn't have no breadcrumbs. Wow. You think America would be completely bankrupt if we didn't have 4 years of Trump? That is a strong statement. Do you think the country was failing that bad when Trump took office from Obama? That if he didn't come in, we were going to completely disintegrate financially? That's heavy. That's heavy. And Trump has spent more time on vacation than any president walking on the beach eating ice cream. You can't bring up ice cream because Biden eating ice cream is certainly going to come up as a counter. The sheer amount of illegal immigrants is a very big problem, and Trump is the one to fix it. Many folks agree with that. Those are comments from YouTube. Many folks agree that when it comes to the immigration issue, Trump is I think there's even liberals. I think even on the liberal side of the aisle, more and more folks, if you just take the one-off issue of immigrants, believe that Trump would be better at handling that than Biden. Because the problem has culminated under Biden. I mean, we can say we want about Trump, separating families or whatever. The immigration issue has significantly worsened under Biden. I don't think there's any way to deny that, particularly because of what Abbott and DeSantis have done. They put the problem right in the laps of liberal cities so that they can no longer claim that the red states are just making this shit up. Now it's in their lap. I'm not a fan of how it took place. I'm not a fan of the inhumanity from Governor Greg Abbott. But I got to give the guy his props. He got what he wanted to get out there, and folks are talking about it. He, from the right side of the aisle, he's a resounding success. He is a resounding success for folks on the right. I'm not a fan of the inhumanity, but he did what needed to be done as far as getting his point out. Looking in the comments, he gets that love by being an unfortunately very good con man. He's been a con man all his life, and he's gotten very good at reading and playing people. Sounds like a politician to me. Bobby in the comments on YouTube. Going back to the box. King Finn. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. I don't know what I just hit. I thought I hit King Finn. Think I hit Derek. I appreciate you folks that are holding on. Sometimes I fat finger. Democrats especially are con men. Yikes, Michael. Elaborate. Derek, good afternoon. Derek, are you with me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, but hey.
Okay. We're talking about, for some reason, a hell of a lot of American voters and constituents dislike Trump. What say you?
I don't like Trump, but hey.
Why don't you like Trump?
I just, for a lot of reasons. I had to write it down to remember all the reasons I don't like.
Give me one. Give me one. During the process of your writing, give me one that you remember writing down.
Well, he plays the race card. He plays, you know, to the division of the races and stuff like that.
Give me an example. Give me an example. How does Trump play the race card?
Well, let me think here. Yeah, when he talks about Mexicans and how bad they are, that rapists and that killers and stuff like that, in order to drum up his base, because he knows those people think like that.
Are you suggesting that Trump's base have a negative view of Mexicans and feel like they are criminals and rapists?
They have a negative view of anybody who don't look like them.
Wow. So let me ask you this. And by the way, Joseph Kuhn, thank you for that super chat. Wow. Joseph says people need to live with the consequences of their voting habits. Every district that voted for Biden needs to take these migrants. How about the notion that if there are, because that's what Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis is doing. Do you think because the liberals are more friendly to migrants, do you think that they should be the cities that get everybody that come?
I'm not sure about that, but the reason I came on is to say that
they're the ones bitching about it. You said Trump what?
Handed a great economy. He was handed a great economy. Mickey Mouse could have maintained that economy. That's all he did was sit back and golf and chill. He didn't have to do much to maintain that economy. But he screwed it up when the pandemic came along.
So the first 3 years, like I was telling the last caller, the first 3 years that Trump comes in office, we're under the agreement that he received a good economy from Obama. Do you not give him any credit for maintaining this good economy?
Don't you think the economy maintained itself?
No. You can make a host of bad decisions to screw up a good economy.
Yeah, but he did once the pandemic came along.
Yeah, but
that showed his governing skills right there. When the pandemic came along, that showed his governing skills.
Yeah,
I screwed everything up.
See, I disagree to some degree, and I'm not going to pretend like Trump didn't handle the pandemic poorly. I think he really ruined the pandemic, but the economy was doing well under Trump, and when the pandemic hit, he was faced with a decision. Do I protect lives or do I save my baby, which I'm using the runoff of, which is a great economy? So he was trying to do both. He was trying to listen to the CDC and shut things down while also trying to maintain a good economy. And there's no way to do that, which is why to this day, his supporters have this mixed message about everything, because his messaging during that time was horrible. He would go on TV with Dr. Fauci during the day, stand beside Dr. Fauci looking unified while Dr. Fauci told us what to do. But then at night he's holding rallies, letting everybody yell, fire Dr. Fauci. So I agree with you. His handling of the pandemic was dismal. But I gotta say the first 3 years of his presidency, the economy was great.
Yeah, but the same economy that he was handed, his supporters would say, under Obama, the economy was terrible.
Yeah, that's playing politics. Yeah, yeah, I don't disagree with that. That is playing politics, and President Trump did that himself by saying when he took office, he was saying the country was financially dilapidated and things like that. I will agree with you. Trump was wrong for that, but I do give him credit for it. What do you think America would be like if he gets reelected?
What the economy is going to be like? Biden's fixing everything. Biden's got everything going again. So Trump would benefit from another good economy is what's going to happen. and then to get himself out of a whole lot of trouble that he's in. That's the main reason he wants to do that. That's why he's screaming all this. Yeah, they're coming in and they're going to do this and we're going to ship them back because he knows he can jam up his base that way.
Do you think Biden is handling the immigration crisis properly?
Biden. I think Biden is doing a great job. Not because I'm, Democrat.
Great job.
He can't be like Trump. We're gonna send him back. We're gonna put him on a ship and send him off to this place and that place. He can't speak that way.
What would you do?
But what would I do?
You got millions of folks here on asylum claims that we know most of them are never going to meet the criteria. What would you do?
I'd keep letting them do whatever the heck they're doing, coming in the legal way.
Some of them are robbing people. Wait a minute, Derek. Some of them are committing crimes. They're laying all over the street. What would you do about the folks that are here?
But the majority of people coming here are coming illegally, overstaying the visas.
Okay, but what about all the ones that came claiming asylum? That, I believe the swelling of immigrants right now that we're dealing with under the Biden administration are not folks who overstayed their visa. They're folks who came and claimed asylum.
Well, maybe so.
What would you do?
Maybe so. But what else can you do? What else can you do besides put up a wall, a fence, or gate, or something like that?
What about the ones that are here?
Oh, the ones that are here? What would I do?
Yeah.
Hey, best thing to do is try to make them legal.
You would let all of them stay here.
Hey, why not?
They haven't been vetted. We don't know who they are, Derek. They haven't even been vetted.
Yeah, I know that. But we got to find some way to vet them and find some way to keep them. American people want the Hispanics here, trust me.
That many of them at one time. We want all of them here.
I don't know, man.
They don't seem
what to do with them.
They don't seem too happy in liberal cities.
Well, what do you think we should do with them? Ship them back?
Yeah, if they're here claiming asylum and they have no legitimate reason to be granted asylum, yeah. What's the purpose of having an asylum law if anybody can just come and it doesn't even matter?
Well, I agree with that. Oh, you got to round them up, I guess.
Yeah. But if you had Trump in office, would the claim asylum under the Remain in Mexico issue, the way he had it before Biden rolled it back, they wouldn't be here to have to round up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but Trump wanted to separate the kids from the parents and all this other stuff. He does it inhumane. He's being inhumane. And most people would agree with that because that's how they feel about immigrants or people who don't look like them.
All right, fair
enough.
enough.
Their family, if it was their family going through the same situation, they'd feel different.
I agree with that. I think any of us, if we were dealing with this, if we were, destitute and we were actually an immigrant, yeah, well, of course we would feel differently. Yeah. I agree with that. All right, Derek.
Just like the woman you had yesterday who was saying, just let Ukraine handle their own situation. But if your kid was dealing with war like that, being killed, being unalive, you would feel differently about that.
Well said.
And we must help Ukraine because it benefits us. I wish you explained that.
I thought I did, but you may have done a better job at it. I do got to move it on, though, Derek. Appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate it, handsome.
Absolutely. And Rosa, 666, yeah! Thank you for the hat and mustache. Rosa, shout out to you. Wow, I certainly see a super chat that I wanted to acknowledge. And I do appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. Over 1,000 of you in here. Get your boy likes it. Wow. Joseph Kuhn, military can't recruit. Soldiers kicked out for refusing jabs. Immigrants offered green cards for enlisted military full of willing to follow unconstitutional orders. Well, in the military, I do believe before they went to Iraq, they had to get a series of shots and immunizations. In the military, you don't have the same amount of freedom in terms of rights as you do as a citizen. So if you don't want to get jabbed and things like that, you probably shouldn't become a member of the military. I think that's like taking the shots and things like that. I don't think you have a choice in that. Dems vaccines were untested. Also, they should be mandated. These are the people that hate Trump. The vaccine, I'll just say this, and what could be done that we would have seen the results of within 2 years? Wait a minute, what could have been done that I don't quite get that question on, Naeem. And all of you folks on YouTube, wow, thank you for those super chats. Economic shutdowns were up to governors. How is that Trump's fault? Well, the lack of issuing federal orders, you're going to leave it up to the states if they make bad decisions, just like with the abortion issue. If you break it up and give the states their own rights, the states only got rights because you broke up the federal allowances of women to make a choice. You're going to get blamed for it. You're going to get blamed for the states that make a bad decision because you gave them the right to make that decision. People need to live with I saw that coming, but I do appreciate that, by the way. In regards to the vaccine being untested, I wanted to tackle that before we go to the next caller. It does look like, the vaccine was rushed out, but here's my issue. I'm not a virologist. I don't have the educational background to deal with viruses, so I don't know what works and what doesn't. It was a novel virus. We never experienced COVID before. I'm going to go with the folks that have the most amount of knowledge. That's just the way I look at it. I know a lot of you folks have a difference of opinion. If I'm on a 747, big ass aircraft, and it's going down because the pilots are inebriated or unconscious, and a guy steps up and says, I've flown 787s, let me give it a shot. I don't have any piloting skills. I'm going to give it to the 787 pilot. I'm going to trust that he can help save us. He's the best chance we got. That's the way I view Dr. Fauci. He came up and worked. He came up from fame working on HIV, which is another virus in itself that was also a novel virus in the late 80s. He did pretty damn well on that. So he is a 787 pilot when I'm on a 747 that's about to crash. I'm not going to go in the cockpit while he's trying to figure out how to fly and tell him he don't know what the hell he's doing, because I damn sure don't. So I gotta go with what he's saying. Even if he's wrong, he's the best choice we have right now. All of the passengers behind me that are yelling, he don't know what he's doing, none of you guys are pilots. None of you. At least he knows the basics of aerodynamics in flight. So I'm going to go with him. So even though it's never been tested, as someone stated, the guy flying the plane, he's never flown a 747. He's never been tested on a 747. Damn it, he's our best choice. That's what I'm going with. That's how I view it. I'm going to let him sit at the controls. I'm not going to talk shit about him or demand he be locked up when we land on the damn runway. This is our best choice. That's how I look at Dr. Fauci. Maybe I'm wrong. Appreciate you folks tapping the screen. Get your boy up to 1100. Yeah! See Osby, making your boy work today. Certainly on the super chats. Do appreciate all of that on YouTube. The whole point of America, the president isn't supposed to have that much power. You know, so they don't become a fascist authoritarian. Here's the problem, though. So many people benefit if either president becomes an authoritarian or gets all this power. So even though they don't suppose to have it, Congress, Senate, knowing that they're also going to gain longevity, may hope to pass laws to help benefit that person. That's how a lot of folks view January 6th. We can talk about whether it's right or wrong, but a lot of folks believe they stood behind Trump because if he stays in power forever, so do we. He's going to reward us for being loyal. So I agree with you. You don't want an authoritarian, but that's how it works. The people in power want that. Trust based on expertise is appeal to authority. Joseph Cohn, thank you, by the way. Joseph, appreciate it. We may have a difference of opinion, but I certainly appreciate the super chat. Here's the issue. So I just saw a comment real quick. Renard Johnson says, is this guy a liberal? I'm not sure. He sure is handsome, though. Oh, my God. I appreciate it. You guys working your boy off today, working the hell out of me. Feel like it's a Friday. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to appeal to who has the most knowledge. I know my example may have sounded outrageous to some of you folks, but I'm going to appeal to the person that has the most knowledge. And at the time, during the height of the pandemic, Dr. Fauci was that guy. I know my beloved MAGA thinks Dr. Fauci is a piece of shit. I can't control that. I do believe Trump is partially responsible for that. What Trump should have done, if he thought Fauci was useless or wrong, reappoint him to the COVID task or the HIV task force. I don't believe Trump had the power to fire Dr. Fauci, but he could reallocate him somewhere else, take him off of it. But by leaving Dr. Fauci over this virus, and you feel like he's giving bad information out, that makes Trump look incompetent. You don't have to have this guy doing this. Appoint him somewhere else and put somebody else on that you think is noteworthy. Go get Dr. Ben Carlson or somebody. But you're going to go on TV with this guy during the day and then shame him at night. That made Trump himself look like he's giving mixed messages, which is why I believe to this day, America's stance on the coronavirus still remains mixed because Trump did not give out a unified message on that. Joseph Kuhn said it's not an opinion. Appeal to authority is a logical fallacy. Look it up. I appreciate your passion. Perhaps I will do that. Listen, I'm not going to listen. I don't know all the answers. I make that clear. Hell of a lot of you folks are smarter than yours truly. That's why we run an uncensored program. I believe we can exchange ideas and share a lot of information. Going back to the box, though, I have bloviated enough. All right, continuing on, we'll go straight to Big Repo 1. Good afternoon, Big Repo. Trump was scared, and he is not a leader. Yikes. I do believe a lot of folks were scared. That is a hell of a lot of pressure to be president at the time of a pandemic. But that is why you have a cabinet. That is why you have advisors. Getting up there and saying, I know more about the coronavirus than anyone else is just flat out wrong, false. It's a bunch of bullshit. This is not the time to be a typical New Yorker and bloviate. You don't know more. You're a businessman. You don't know shit about viruses. So this is where Trump being Trump was not helpful. Get up there, do the Bill Clinton thing. I feel your pain. We have experts working on it. This is the best choice we have. My explanation, the 747 versus 787 pilot. Give out some shit like that. Don't get up there and say, I know more about this. I know more about what's going on in Afghanistan than the generals. Sometimes bragging about the size of your dick is inappropriate. People are dying. It's a war going on. It's a pandemic taking place. This ain't the time to be bragging. Sometimes it's inappropriate. I do believe those are two times where Trump being larger than life was not appropriate for the situation. But some of you folks disagree. You're entitled to do that. You know we run an uncensored program. Appreciate you folks on YouTube. Certainly smash that like button. Continue the program on. I don't know what's happening with the box, but we'll make it happen again with the one and only, I don't know what the hell I just hit there. Thank you for the confetti. That was Gomez. I think that's who I actually hit. Gomez, good afternoon.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. We're talking about Trump. Good economy. Folks like the fact that we didn't have all these damn wars breaking out. Why do so many people hate the man?
Well, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 43.
I'm older.
Back in my day, you know, it used to be like sticks and stones break your bones, and words can't hurt you.
Right.
You know? I feel like all three hurt people's feelings nowadays. Just to be like
sticks, stones, and what is the third one? Rianne, thank you. Sticks and stones may break my nose, and names will never hurt me. You're saying sticks, stones, and names?
Sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you, right?
Okay.
I think all three are hurting people nowadays.
All right.
You know.
Okay, well, let me ask you from this aspect. Trump has now served an entire term. He is well aware that his tweeting and name calling did not benefit him in terms of what you just stated. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but you said words. We grew up with names will never hurt, whatever the case may be. Why won't he get that going into a potential second term? Why hasn't he learned that the rhetoric is not helpful?
Well, I don't think the goal would be to change the person, you know, where a lot of Americans believe needs to be, you know. I think America needs a tough leader.
You think America needs a leader calling people bird brain and making fun of what apparently is an old guy with a disability, talking about Biden, you know, an old guy with a mental illness. You think making fun of that, America needs a leader that does that?
Yeah, but I don't think, what did Biden say the other day? We're like losers about losing, right?
But according to folks on the right, Biden is an old man in cognitive decline who doesn't even know where the hell he's at. Why are we holding him accountable for his statements? If my grandma had dementia and said something negative about me, I'm not going to curse her out. She doesn't know where she's at.
Well, that's not a fair fight, because a lot of the people on the left don't think that he's they think that he's totally. You know, they look at him and say,
but the people who are insulting him do think he's out of his mind.
Wait, what'd you say? Sorry.
The people who are insulting him do think he's out of his mind.
Yes. I mean, out of his mind as far as what he says. They're offended by his words, but he's there. I mean, you can't look at him like going to the border and look at him like fumbling around and, you know, like it's very obvious.
So you think Biden is in cognitive decline, potentially has Alzheimer's or mental illness? Do you believe that's the case?
Well, it's obvious.
Okay.
I mean, anyone that doesn't think that is crazy.
Okay. So do you believe it is acceptable to make fun of an old man who is bumbling around, falling off of bikes and things? You think it makes sense to make fun of?
I mean, me personally, I probably wouldn't do that. But at this point, I think that we have a lot to lose as a country, because people will still vote for this person who can't even walk, off a stage. It's pretty crazy.
Well,
I think this is like a different level.
but think about what Trump says. Because they are railroading me in the government, it's drawing folks to me out of sympathy because they think I'm being mistreated. If you are making fun of an old guy that is hurt, falling off bikes and hurting himself, according to folks on the right, and you're making fun of it, is it possible you may be drawing sympathy to Biden because of what you're doing is so awful?
Well, I don't think that really matters. I think that people on the left or liberals or some conservatives just are offended by Trump's words. So I think that's really all that matters. I don't think it. Me personally, I don't get offended by words, and I don't really want the president to speak the way that he does. But also, I don't want my president to be, needing a walker and crazy like. I mean, Biden is just not there, so I don't know who's really running the country, right?
Well, at the end of the day, we know they all have cabinets and folks have other folks running the country. Real quick, Joseph Kuhn, I wanted to respond because you certainly have been very kind today. Said what was appropriate. Give me a second. I wanted to respond to his super chat. I'm no fan of. Listen, I get what you said there, Gomez, about folks are not offended by Trump's name calling, particularly on the right. My response is this. Regardless of how effective Trump was at managing the economy, folks on the right are not offended by his insults because they're not aimed at him. I say this all the time. If Obama was in office or Biden was in office, giving us the exact same policies as Trump, same economy, same unemployment numbers, everything you like about Trump, but they were criticizing gun owners and Christians, I don't think you would ignore it. I think you're ignoring Trump's insults because they're not aimed at you. It's pretty easy to do that.
Well, I think Biden does attack, MAGA.
And they don't ignore it. And And when he attacks MAGA, they don't ignore it. All of a sudden, the insults start mattering. It's because they're aimed at him now.
Yeah, I mean, they should both matter, right?
Yeah.
I just think, in the end, it's very easy. I think that Trump. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Should the presidential candidate pass some kind of test, cognitive test to see if they're fit to be president?
100%.
Okay. I mean, I wish that would happen.
Let me respond by.
Can I ask you one quick?
Hold on. I'll give you time to answer the second question. Hang on. I'll give you the second. Yeah, I actually think, and that's what I was going to respond to. You asked, their second question was, would Biden pass? And I was going to elaborate on your first question, and I'll tie it into the second question. In this current environment where we're so tribalistic, fake news, the election was stolen, the feds are weaponized, they're after Trump, I would never advise Biden to take a cognitive exam. For the simple fact is, the right is not going to believe the results. If a doctor suggested Biden is cognitively aware, then he was a liberal doctor. He was bought out. So you're in an argument, kind of like Adrian told Rocky in number 3. You can't win, Rocky. No matter what the results are, unless the doctor says Biden is out of his freaking mind, the right is going to say the test is not accurate. So why take it? You can't win.
Well, let me ask you a follow-up then, a secondary question.
Sure.
Would you at least think that Biden should debate Trump? That should be a non-negotiable, right?
100%, but I got to throw a but in there. 100%, and on YouTube, I will respond to that super chat in a minute. I think Trump, even though I believe if you're running for president, you should certainly participate in the debate, as you're saying there, Gomez. But I think Trump opened up the door to skipping debates. He came up with his own reason. Well, I'm way ahead, so I don't have to debate. Well, once you create a reason for why you don't have to show up, you can't fault somebody for creating their reason for why they don't have to show up.
I think Biden has debated lately, right?
No, but what I'm saying is I agree with you. You should attend the debate. But Trump should have attended the debates he skipped. He skipped 4 debates. So he is not going to be the messenger that can say Biden is running from debates. He's not the guy anymore.
Well, I think that Biden skipped a lot of debates last year or last election, right? Because of the situation, of COVID, right? So, that is what it is. We can talk about that.
Well, the point I'm making is clear. The minute Trump started skipping debates, he can no longer say Biden is wrong for not debating him. The minute he did it, he now has a record of skipping debates on his own. So if I'm Biden's advisor, you want to show up, you can, but you don't have to.
Well, I think you're talking about the primary debates.
I'm
right?
talking
You're
about a debate. I'm talking about a presidential candidate in a debate. I don't care if it's primary or general. If you're running for office, you should attend the debates, period.
Wait, just to get this clear, you're saying that Biden should not debate Trump when it comes to the presidential election.
I'm saying
because Trump didn't debate because he has a landslide win over this Nikki Haley woman who's going to drop out tonight.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. Trump should have been at those debates.
That's crazy, though, dude.
That's your opinion, though.
Someone who just can't debate. That's very simple. Like, she should be able to debate.
Well, you and I have a gentleman's disagreement. Listen, you might be right, I may be wrong. I'm willing to concede that. But what I'm saying is, if you're running for office, I don't want to hear you're far ahead or something. The people should hear what you stand for and how you answer questions. You don't get to make up excuses for why you're not showing up. The fact that you're ahead in the polls, other folks that couldn't vote during your first term that are turning 18, they should hear how you answer questions. I think skipping a debate is not right no matter who does it, no matter what excuse you're using to do it with.
Okay.
All right.
I respect that, and I think the same way. I think if Biden tries to get rid of, not being able to debate against Trump, because obviously, if I was advising him, I would say don't debate Trump. You'll lose greatly. Or hugely. You would
give him you would tell Biden not to debate Trump for the same reason they told Trump not to debate the other folks. You can't win. You have nothing to gain.
Biden can't, again, like, I guess we go back to what your original statement was. Are we making fun of Biden because he's incompetent, stuff like that? It's obvious that Trump would destroy Biden in a debate. So if I was Biden's advisors, I would say, of course, don't debate Trump.
All right, and you could be right, but many folks would suggest that you could be right, that maybe Trump would destroy Biden, but many folks would say that Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis would have destroyed Trump. So what I'm simply saying is your argument in favor of Trump having the right to debate Biden could be used against Trump for all the people he skipped out on. That's what I'm saying is Trump opened the door to that by skipping out on debates. I got to move it on, but I'll give you the last word, Gomez.
My last thing would say nobody thought that DeSantis or Haley would beat Trump in a debate. So I would push back greatly on that.
I guarantee you, supporters of Ron DeSantis.
Not a question.
All right, I guarantee you.
Some people, right? When I'm saying nobody, I'm saying like 80% of people, but you may be talking about the 20%.
All right, could be. Then the 20%. The 20% are voters. They should have got their chance to hear him debate. Appreciate you coming on, though, Gomez.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Always welcome back. Real quick on the super chat, the YouTube audience is on fire. Thank you. I like him. Decent division control and charisma can't be all you have. Thanks for keeping it transparent. No one runs off of actual policy, just hype and nostalgia. Yeah, I agree with that. Start Obama, yes, we can. A lot of hype and nostalgia. Trump, certainly, make America great. I do agree with that. Well stated. Thank you for that super chat. Real quick before we move on and go back to the box, I did want to respond. YouTube is a bit slow letting me do what I'm trying to do here. So your callers lost in Trump coat land. Wow, you think all Trump supporters are in a coat? If you want him to debate, stop lying him down with frivolous lawsuits. Joseph, look, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of folks dislike Trump. That's what the whole show is about. But I don't think he's going to escape the lawsuits. Well, I appreciate your statement, though. And he said, if you don't want him to be made fun of, take him off stage. Nikki Haley is being called a bird brain. Shit, everybody that opposes Trump gets made fun of, whether you're on stage or not. I don't know if I agree with that. Real quick, Joseph Kuhn said, what was inappropriate was the government dictating what was true about COVID while continuously getting things wrong only to suppress dissenting professional opinions. Not to get too deep into the coronavirus, but I will say this. The government, trying to dictate what you would do and being continuously wrong. I could kind of suggest that has a lot of comparables to Trump saying the 2020 election was stolen and trying to get the votes held up, Mike Pence to not certify the election. And it turns out he was wrong too. He was the head of the government. He too was trying to do something, trying to force something on the people, and he was totally wrong about it. We're 3 years out. There's no evidence to suggest that if Mike Pence had done what Trump asked, there is zero evidence to suggest that Trump would have still lost just a little bit further down the road. There's no evidence suggesting that election would have ended up going to Trump, even though he's still saying he won by a landslide. So I do get your point, though. I don't want to go too far down the road with the virus, but I do get your point. And by the way, thank you again for that super chat. Where's Sakisha? I don't know. It was stolen. You can't prove it was not stolen. That ain't how it works. What are you suggesting, that an election is stolen into proven innocent? That's not how it works. Can I prove the election was not stolen? I think I can give about as close to concrete proof as possible. And that is everyone involved in the handling of the election said it was not stolen. Democrats, Republicans, judges that Trump appointed himself, Republican governors, for the most part, Trump's entire administration. If that doesn't count as proof, and the one man being Trump is the victor when all of these other people are standing opposite, I don't know what to do with that. His own attorney general, Jim Barr, or Attorney General Barr, who was the top cop in the United States at the time, did the investigation, came back and said Trump's claims are bullshit. The Dominion voting machines, obviously with them winning nearly $750 million, suggesting that information was bullshit. Fox News, I don't know how much they lost, but they lost they're the ones that lost $750 million. Fox News, Tucker Carlson lost his job. What constitutes as proof? I mean, everyone that has said Trump has won are being trounced by the people that said he lost. How much more proof do you need? Or, before I go back to the box, and I'm going to ask you guys to tap the screen, 130,000 likes. Today is a good day. Shout out to Ice Cube. Appreciate you folks on YouTube. If you enjoy civilized dialogue, feel free to smash that like button. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Uncensor program. In regards to the election, no Republican governor saying it was stolen, even in the swing states. No Republican senators or Congress, for the most part, are saying it was stolen. Not talking about Democrats, not talking about liberals. His own vice president, who would have gotten a second term as the nation's second highest in command, admitted it was not stolen. I mean, how much more evidence can I come up with? Or, as I was stating, are we in a position where some folks are like, I don't give a damn what comes out. I believe it was stolen and I'm going to run with that. Nothing is going to convince me. The earth is flat. I don't give a damn that you're out in space with a satellite. Those photos are doctored. The planet is flat. I don't know. Going back to the box, he just needed 11,780 votes. Yeah, the same reason he hates people. Yikes. Going to the box, you guys have been awesome on the likes on TikTok. I cannot thank you any further. 130,000. It's almost a record for me. Real quick, we'll keep it moving though. We'll go to Tony. I didn't see what that said. These names go crazy. We'll just make it happen. I don't know what I just hit there, but I do appreciate you folks that are hosting. Easy Breezy. Shout out to the late Easy E. Easy. Why do so many folks have an issue with Trump? Good economy, good jobs numbers, lack of global conflict. What is it about Trump that so many people hate?
I think it's just the people that he attracts and he supports.
Repeat that? Wait, you said you think it's just the people what? I didn't hear that.
I said I feel like it's the people that he attracts and he supports. I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't like Trump. I mean, Trump is he speaks what his mind. It is what it is. But at the same time, there's certain things, there's certain aspects that, people are not going to agree on. Like, you got people that's out here that don't, that are racist, that are criminals, but then he'll point the finger like this person is a criminal too.
You said the people that Trump attracts and the people that he supports is why he's hated. Give me some examples of the people he attracts that folks would have an issue with.
So, like, for example, I'm from New York. So during his election term, there was a lot of people that came out that was considered as racist, that supported police brutality and all this other stuff, that was trying to turn a blind eye. There was a lot of people that sat there and supported certain things that, wouldn't go normally if there was anybody else running for president. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of things that happened that wasn't happening for years on end, or those people were just hiding in the shadows or whatever the case may be.
Now, I've heard liberals say this, and it sounds like you're kind of echoing the same sentiment. Some folks say that once Trump got elected, he made it comfortable for folks who had intolerant or hateful views to come out in the open. Is that what I'm hearing from you right now?
Yeah, that's definitely what that was.
There
was a lot of hate. There was a ton of hate, especially because, like I said, I'm from New York, and a lot of them was running the streets where they felt like coming from upstate, Jersey, wherever the case may be. They felt comfortable enough to come out here and hate speech, do whatever they felt. Like, yeah, you have all rights to support your, who you want as president. That's fine. But when hatred, when you sitting there hating somebody because of their race or whatever their beliefs are, that's, and they're supporting you and you're okay with that, and then you welcome them with open arms, that's a problem.
Well, he condemned, it took a little portion of urging, but he condemned David Duke, for instance. David Duke supported him, said if you don't vote for Trump, it's considered treason to the white race. Trump eventually condemned him. I mean, did Trump not condemn some of these folks? I think he finally came out and spoke out against...
The spotlight, but the thing is, we know who he lays in bed with, though. We can't act like he doesn't lay in bed with these people either. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the times, and a lot of his followers act like, he does, like for example, I don't mean to call anybody out, and I don't mean no disrespect, but you had somebody on here earlier, was when he sat there and he was like, he doesn't lie. But then as soon as you pointed him out that he lies, he's like, oh, but he's down on Trump. He's a man. Yeah. That you're justifying everything, and that's the biggest issue, is the fact that they keep justifying all his actions. And like I said, I respect Donald Trump to a point because he's not afraid to speak on his own. He's basically telling us he does everything to people that you guys know, but he just does it in the open, which I respect. I understand that he does everything these people, the same thing with Democrats. Democrats are not angels. They sat there, look at EBT food stamps. They destroyed black homes, black families. That right there shows alone that they say they're for the people, but they're really not.
You saying the Democrats are not for it? You saying the Democrats lie and say they're for the people and they're really not?
Yeah, they lie all the time. Both parties lie at the end of the day.
All right, well, so if the Democrats are mistreating the people and lying to them, is it safe to assume you're yelling Trump 2024?
I don't know. We need to start over. That in my opinion, is just like we need to start over. We need a fresh start, because at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people are not gonna vote because
But easy. You know that's a pipe dream. We're not going to start over right now. We're coming down to a rematch between Trump and Biden. Yeah. What are you going to do? You're going to sit it out?
In my opinion, I'm gonna have to rock with Biden.
Okay. All
I don't
right.
have to rock them too far. Because due to the fact that a lot of people, and this is not being known, that everything's getting better. And just like a lot of people said on in the box, that Trump is going to get a lot of credit for stuff that's already happening. So due to the fact that he even said it in one of his rallies that because the economy going up and gas prices are going down because of him. How? You're not even in office yet. So it's like, and that's the thing. As soon as somebody came and said he doesn't lie, but he lied in one of his rallies this year, that don't make no sense.
I'm going to say right about all politicians lie and businessmen lie too.
100%.
Yeah, businessmen.
I definitely agree. That's why, like, I like your platform. Like, I'm brand new to this platform. Like, I found it today, and I love how you know,
Damn.
you're very balanced between this stuff. Like, I really love this.
Easy, appreciate that. Oh, real quick on you, because we're simultaneously on YouTube as well. Joseph Kuhn, who's been awesome today, says, did they come to New York and burn your communities down like Kenosha? I'm gonna let you handle that comment. Now we're talking about Black Lives Matter. You're in New York, obviously. When it comes to issues, did they come to your community and burn things down like they did in Kenosha? The floor is yours.
They created riots. They sat there. They came in with, you know, escalades and different flags, saying hate speeches, starting fights, you know, stuff like that. Like, I don't think there's not that many of them. That's the thing. We outnumber them in the world. So especially in the United States. So when they come down here, there's not a lot of people.
Well, define they. What do you mean when you say they?
Like this, like the people, like racist, like the racist people, like people that are racist, people that are, you know, those people, we outnumber them. So when they come down here, they already know they're gonna start something. You're practically starting something by you saying hate speeches. You're gonna rile these people up, knowing you're outnumbered. You're starting a riot. You're disturbing the peace at this point. That's as bad as saying, oh, there's a fire. That's as bad as doing that. So regardless of the fact that it doesn't even matter what their actions were, if you're coming down there to start a disturbance, you know. Yeah. By people that's just trying to get to their job or even speaking their beliefs, you have an issue with that because.
But you're talking about the people. You're talking about supporters of Trump and suggesting that Trump is an opportunist and willing to, you know, associate with certain folks that are of lesser quality for vote. But what about Trump himself? Do you see Trump himself as a racist or intolerant or hateful?
I feel like he's not he doesn't hate. He doesn't have a hate. He is racist, but he's not a hate. You know, he's not the type of racist where he has a hate for somebody because of their color. He just believes in the how can I say it? He has the beliefs of, you know, stereotypes and, you know, basic shit like that. Oh, like, you know, and he goes based off statistics and stuff like that, numbers. Not really based off, oh, I hate this person because they're black, or I hate this person because they're Mexican. He's only going based off the numbers and what he sees on the news and who he supports and stuff like that.
That's almost logical, though. If you see one group fucking up, it's going to have, you know, because I do Uber videos, and one of the things I've been doing, and I'm probably going to get hammered from my own community for this, but I've been saying that when you're dealing in rideshare, the most dangerous passenger you can pick up is a young black male. I've been covering stories and doing Uber videos and Uber and Lyft driver videos for about 3 years, and the amount of carjackings, and it's almost always a young black male. I got a serial killer story I'm doing right now. But what I wanted to ask is real quick, because you mentioned the economy under President Biden. Gary on YouTube said, how the hell can you believe that shit is cheaper and the economy is better? You ain't buying stuff from where I'm at. F up. And he said FJ Biden.
I live in New York. I live in one of the most expensive cities in the world. Of course, I know that the economy is not currently better. I said it's getting better.
Getting better.
So it's
okay.
Yeah, it's getting better. So it's just like we was just saying, the economy never just gets better overnight, or it doesn't get better within a year. It gets better throughout the years. And just like other people were saying, if Donald Trump comes into office and all of a sudden the economy is better, how many of them is going to sit there and say, oh, they're going to give Biden his proper credit? No, nobody's going to do that. Everybody's going to be like, oh, Donald Trump, he just stepped foot and magically snapped his fingers and there we have a better economy. That doesn't work that way. Yeah. And yes, he's a great businessman. Yes, he is. But at the same time, he's also a snake that's in a snake barrel.
Wow.
And he's willing to make sure he's also like, but that's everybody. That's every politician. That's the fact. But at the end of the
now, before I let you go, I do got to move it on. But considering you're in New York, I got a question I've been meaning to ask you. How did New York, I'm assuming you were there before Trump became president, how did they view him before he ran for office?
See, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people a lot of people around me, especially my age group, I was, this is 2017, so I was like, 18, 19 years old. I wasn't really into politics around the time, but a lot of people that was around me, they didn't vote. They just couldn't make their mind up. A lot of people around me was just like, oh, they don't know. Donald Trump was entertaining at the time, I guess, but like, I can't really even say that. Like I said, around that
well, you're still young. I'm gonna be candid and admit when I was, in my 20s, I wasn't politically affiliated at all. Once I got to be 30, I couldn't stop talking politics. So, so you're young, but it is important that you vote because some of this shit that's coming down the pipe could go on well into your elderly years. Certainly with Roe v. Wade, for instance. That's going to be might be around for most of your lives, if not the rest of it. So vote. It's important. I wish somebody could have told me that when I was your age, but I do got to move it on easy. Appreciate you coming through. Real good.
I appreciate it.
Good conversation, man. Good conversation. Stay involved in politics, even at a young age, is very important.
Thank you.
Absolute.
Thank you.
All right, moving on with the program. He was, damn, I wanted to read that comment. TikTok is moving real fast with these comments. What makes you think he's a snake? Why aren't you looking at the guy that's a president right now? Well, you're deflecting to Biden. In other words, my last caller said that Trump is a snake, and he's saying, what makes you think Trump is a snake, compared to who we got in office right now? Well, I'm going to tell you, with Trump, he's entertained, let these motorcycles go by real quick. One of the benefits of Trump is he has been able to enjoy some accountability issues that most people would be held accountable for, such as the fact that he's cheated on his wife, had a lot of wives and things like that. So he said, what makes Trump look like a snake? Some people would say that, particularly women, like he's known for cheating on wives and things like that. I'm not saying what he did in D.C., what he did in the White House. Maybe that doesn't matter. What he did with his own personal life and his family while he was in the White House. Now they're holding Fetty Willis accountable for infidelity and things like that. They held Bill Clinton accountable. Some kind of way Trump is getting a pass on it. But that might be, they say all men are dogs. Trump is living up to that in terms of his spouses. That could be a reason. But like I said, Trump is enjoying the benefit of folks saying only pay attention he did while he was in the White House. We don't care what he did in his personal life. So he's getting some privilege that a lot of other folks would not have been given. Looking in the comments, and somebody said exactly that. Who cares what Trump is accused of before? As president, he was great. That's exactly the point I just made. Who stated that? Hold up my little cue card. Healthy living. That's what Trump is getting the benefit of. I don't care what he done when he was a citizen. I'm only holding him accountable for what he's doing while he's president. A lot of other presidential candidates did not get that privilege. They were held accountable. Let's take John Kerry. For you folks who remember the 2004 election, running against George Bush for a second term, the Swift boat veterans, they held him accountable for some shit he did 20, 30 years ago in the military. John McCain stayed behind when he was captive. Some folks said he was holding him accountable for things from years ago. All of a sudden, Trump becomes president, and what you did in the past don't matter. That's a benefit. That is a benefit that Trump is receiving that other politicians did not. They were held accountable for things they did long before they were in the White House. Trump comes along, it don't matter. Look at it in the comments. Most of Trump's accusations came only after he ran. Healthy living. Yeah, of course. Nobody gave a damn about what a citizen, a businessman. You think anybody would have said Obama was born in Kenya if he never ran for president? Of course, that's how it works. A lot of Hillary Clinton's crap came out once she ran for, nobody gave a damn. Hunter Biden is a perfect example. If President Biden had been happy as VP and never ran for president, nobody would have gave a damn about Hunter Biden. He would have received whatever he received while his dad was VP. Nobody would have gave a damn about that. Certainly the fact that he went out in the state of Delaware, lied on a gun application, that he didn't have any substance abuse problems, was able to obtain a firearm. Rosa 666, thank you for that crown on TikTok. Appreciate the love. Thank you. He gets a gun, talking about Hunter Biden, after lying on a gun application, doesn't commit any crimes with the gun, gets rid of the gun shortly after getting it. The only crime is lying on the application. If his dad is not president, that charge doesn't come up. That does not come up at all. That's a victimless crime. For folks who defend Trump, you know, he's being charged with all this bullshit, these fines, victimless crime. The banks are happy. What Hunter Biden did on the law, on the gun application, we can talk about, bereavement, things like that. But that charge that he actually received punishment for, it's a victimless crime. In fact, the legal analysts all over the Sunday shows and things like that suggested that many of them said, I've never seen an individual lie on a gun application and not commit any crimes with the gun and get charged. Like, I've never seen it as a standalone crime. Usually it's after the person has received a gun and committed a crime with it, they find out he lied, and then they tack that on with it. But that as a standalone charge. Hunter Biden committed a victimless crime, and folks want him prosecuted. Joseph Kuhn, Biden bribed Ukraine to fire their head prosecutors with billions of dollars because he was investigating Burisma, Hunter's company. Well, until he has his day in court, he has plausible deniability. I say the same about Trump. Folks feel confident Trump broke some laws. Until he's convicted, it's an allegation. That's why they always say allegedly. So I got to give Hunter Biden the same credit. Going back to the box, appreciate you. Wow, 159,000 likes. I do believe that's a record on my TikTok audience and certainly on YouTube as well. Let me just make it clear. We're here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. If you do enjoy this type of civilized dialogue without worried about the host trying to limit your opinion, alter it in any way, you're in the right program. I implore you to follow the program. YouTube, smash that like button and subscription if you will. Thank you for all the appreciation. Going back to the box, we were trying to get Moo earlier. At this point, I'll say the Honorable Moo, because he always has a great opinion. Moo, I saw you listening in. What do you think? Why do so many people hate the former president?
Why do people hate the former president? He called for the he called for the death of 5 innocent black men. He assaults women. He got out of serving his country by faking bone spurs. His son-in-law took a massive $2 billion bribe from the Middle East. Before he was president in New York, he discriminated against black people and stopped them from moving into his apartments. He separated children from their families at the border. He assassinated Soleimani and almost kicked off World War III in Iran. He took away the Iran deal and almost started World War III in Iran again. He takes money from Adelson's wife in AIPAC, so he will not stop the war in Israel. He takes money from oil companies. He lies to his followers all the time about drill, baby, drill, when the oil that comes out of the ground doesn't even belong to the United States. It belongs to OPEC. He is the only dumbass in the world who had a casino where the odds are stacked against the customer and in favor of the house, and that motherfucker still went under and was broke as fuck before NBC was stupid enough to give him a TV show, which got him money again. He assaults women. He grapes women. He grabs them by the hoo-hoo whenever he feels like. Should I keep going?
The fence is only 400 feet. You don't have to swing that hard. Damn, you broke somebody's window down the street with that. Wow. All right, so I don't know where to begin. My God, Boo, I see in the comments folks are saying keep going. So at the end of the day, wow, I don't know what else to fucking say.
He has a bunch of followers who are even dumber than him, because you have to be dumber than the person that's telling you what to do if you follow them like that.
So you believe he's hated for a number of reasons. Folks believe that under Trump, though, and I'm just trying here because Jesus Christ. But at the end of the day, folks believe he was running the country more effectively than Biden. What say you?
Yeah. So COVID counts, right? That counts. If you're going to give Trump credit for low gas prices, then you also have to condemn him for his shit ass response during COVID. Trump also did the tax cuts for the rich, which gave us inflation by blowing up the deficit. Trump sucked at the economy, and I got news for you: the economy would be booming at this point, no matter who's in office, because again, it's booming because of generative AI. It has nothing to do with who's in the White House right now. You could have any dumbass in there right now, and the economy would be soaring right now.
So you're telling me that Trump could not even screw the economy up if he wanted. You're saying it would be soaring no matter what.
You can't fuck this up. No, you're in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution. You have a technology that is the greatest discovery in human history. Look at the market. It's held up by 7 companies who are all in generative AI.
Okay, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you.
What's going on?
Okay, let me interrupt you because you mentioned Trump not renting to tenants of African American descent. Big super chat on YouTube, and this is worthy of discussing. He said, "This is Joseph Kuhn said I found the FBI data dump about that discrimination suit, the one that Trump." Dealt with. Says, and none of the tenants claimed discrimination. The only claim came from a disgruntled employee. The NPC got his talking points from articles in Time. So in other words, the Trump apartment complex did not discriminate against anybody.
So that's not true. He's straight up lying on your show right now because the lawsuit is public record. Trump was found guilty of discrimination by the state of New York. I don't much care what the FBI says. So I don't know what that dude is talking about.
I'm dying to find out.
Making up some bullshit right now.
Yeah, listen, what he said goes over my head. I'm dying to do some research after the show. That's the first I've heard of this.
I mean, no gaslight.
You there?
Yeah, they'll gaslight you about anything, my friend.
Well, that's big, though.
Trump does something wrong.
Folks are also suggesting that none of the folks were black. I'm dying to find out the facts on this now that he stated that.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm sure, they also suggest that he didn't commit an insurrection. They also suggest that he didn't have fake electors. They also suggest that Roger Stone isn't a Nazi. They also suggest that having dinner with Fuentes is okay. They also suggest that Kanye West isn't out of his fucking mind. Okay, they suggest a lot of dumb shit. They're MAGA.
Okay, I can't disagree with you on many of those points, but I am dying now to look into what he stated, though, that this lawsuit didn't involve people of color and none of them claimed discrimination. That is the first I've heard of that, and we will follow up on that. Say that again.
Quick. Your boy had your homeboy had 4 years already. He didn't do shit. He did hire a guy who let Epstein off in Florida. That he did do. He ran through secretaries like nobody ever has. He claims to care about education, but then he hired Betsy DeVos, who's a fucking degenerate, and her brother's a goddamn bounty hunter who knows nothing about education. Trump hires the dumbest motherfuckers in the world, and now they're all going on TV talking about what bad body odor he has. So your boy stinks too. He stinks like shit.
All right, Moo. All right. Appreciate you coming by. Damn. Come on through anytime. You know how we do. Appreciate it. Real quick in the comments, Joseph Kuhn said, I can tell by his passion that he has no idea how supply and demand works. Also, look up chart of the century. You definitely giving me some homework, Kuhn, and I certainly will take that into consideration. In the comments, I can't pronounce the name, says Salty Liberals. Bankai says, salty about what? Folks on the right favor Trump, folks on the left favor Biden. There is a bit of salt. Shout out to Morton. There is some salt, but it's on both sides. Going back to the box real quick, the 175,000 likes, I'm flabbergasted. I don't even know what the hell to say, but other than thank you. I've never seen the number that high. We're asking that question while I get up my little homemade cue card so I can see your names. Asking that question, why do so many people seem to hate Trump? We talked about the economy. We talked about the lack of global conflicts. Nevertheless, even with all the immigration crisis under Biden, the love for Trump doesn't seem to be growing. There are folks who suggest that maybe Trump would be better at handling the immigration crisis than Biden. but the love for the man does not seem to be there. Why is that? Going back to the box, I don't, 5 Potter, I think that says, look, Biden has picked, I don't see what your comment is. We'll go to Trump. Trump was and is horrible. Tell that to 74 million voters. 5, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, handsome. What's going on, my brother?
Not much at all. Good to have you on. Trump seems to have a huge crowd of dissenters. What say you?
I feel a little inadequate going after Moo 2024. Let's go.
Moo is hardcore. Moo swings for the fences on every conversation. He swings hard.
Hey, I definitely follow Moo. What say me? I knew Trump was a degenerate when he started the birther movement.
Why do you think he did that?
Because he may not be like the other guy was saying, he might not be the guy that will come out and he just, like some Southerners that don't want black people to do anything for them. I mean, serve them, sit near them, or any of
So you believe the birther movement was rooted in racism?
Absolutely.
You think Trump is a racist?
Absolutely.
Other than the birther movement, give me an example. What makes you think Trump is a racist?
The fact that he said he didn't trust black people to count his money.
Where did that come from? I think I've heard that before. You think that's true? Where did that come from?
It came from an article. I'm not sure if it was a Rolling Stone columnist or what the article was that Trump gave. And
you believe he would say something like that?
Do I think he would say something like that?
Yeah.
Well, he said it was 5 people on both sides of some guys toting tiki torches.
Yeah. So
I think what a lot of people miss is that you don't necessarily have to be a staunch racist to uphold white supremacy.
And
white supremacy is tied to, in the same vein of old Europe.
That's a strong condemnation. In what way do you see President Trump as upholding the tenets of white supremacy? What has he done to make you say that? I mean, you can't just throw that out there. I gotta push back. That's pretty strong, man.
Trump's entitlement, or the entitlement that he feels, I don't think it comes from him being a former president.
Oh, it's from him being a successful businessman that ran New York. I think any of us would have entitlement if we had that type of background. He grew up extremely wealthy. He pretty much owned New York by the time he was 20. I can see where he had that entitlement. And real quick, on YouTube, Kuhn says, what the fuck? I mean, Hillary Clinton said she started the birther movement. So when you mentioned Trump having racial overtones because he was suggesting Barack Obama was born in Kenya, he is pointing out, which is actually a fact, that it originated with Hillary Clinton. Do you think she's racist as well?
I think Hillary Clinton as well is one that would hold up the tenets of white supremacy.
So 2016, when it was Hillary against Trump, did you get involved in that election?
I absolutely did.
Which one, holding up the tenets of white supremacy, in your opinion, did you vote for?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Why? She's a white supremacist.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are. Some of our congressmen and senators, Democrat, Republican alike.
So how would you respond to folks in the audience suggesting that you're just throwing around a race card? You know, blacks always want to throw around. I mean, how do you respond to that when you don't like something? You just simply call it racist.
When we say race card, that's something else that was made up by probably some white dude. You don't hear black people going around talking about no race card.
I think Tim Scott might have used it once or twice. Real quick.
Tim Scott?
Yeah.
Come on, handsome.
Also, I'm calling him a superstar right now. Joseph Kuhn stated that Trump also fought to have blacks and Jews included into his country club. These kids need to get off TikTok. Are we just simply uneducated in regards to Trump?
Okay, let's start with I'm not a kid. I'm 55 years old.
I'm 51.
All right.
Okay.
So I've lived long enough to see what white supremacy actually looks like.
Yeah.
My father and my mother came up through redlining.
What city you come up in? I'm just curious.
Virginia.
The
first slave state.
Enough said. Well, South Carolina might have you beat on that one.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's where they came in, which is why Nikki Haley suggesting the Civil War. Her comment on the Civil War was so such a hot topic. I think South Carolina is where they all was originally coming in at.
Not according to some other historians.
Okay, I could listen. That's
Jamestown was considered the first.
Okay.
The first landing.
All right, I'm going to plead ignorance on the subject. You could be right. I thought it was South Carolina. If Jamestown is the correct spot, then so be it. I'm not going to say I'm the know-all in this because I'm not. So, all right, fair enough. So
neither am I. I'm not a historian.
Yeah, neither am I.
But I have been around long enough that I've been to countries that didn't have a government anymore. I've had a front seat for a civil.
Yeah, but okay, wait, hold on, because I really want to run this. Joseph Bruin on YouTube, and this is something that, because we're talking about, white supremacy in reference to Trump. He says, white supremacy, anyone remember when Trump wins the Ellis Island Award for hiring the most minorities out of any Fortune 500 company back in 1989? I don't remember that. Have you heard of that?
That's the first time.
Wow, it needs to be echoed more, because if that's true, I'll bring it up on the show. I've never heard that before. Wow, hire the most minorities in any Fortune 500 company.
It's not like they can't buy awards. I mean,
no, but if it is
put enough money in the right people's hands, of course you'll get an award.
Yeah, but if they handed out an award on some bullshit, then that needs to be brought up. But if it's true, that kind of really works in Trump's favor. I'm surprised Trump himself ain't using that. I mean, we hear about hanging around Mike Tyson, Don King, Oprah, and Al Sharpton. Why wouldn't he mention that? That's huge. I haven't heard that from Trump himself. I got to move it on, though, Fi. You know how it works.
Hey, I appreciate you having me up, brother.
And the sentiment is exactly on this side. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, moving the program on. I've never heard of that. Wow. Redlining occurred in Democrat-run cities. Why do y'all vote Democrat? That's an excellent question. Put 10,000 black people in a room together. Because often folks say, Democratic Party is undervaluing blacks. They just show up around election time. There's a host of things folks say. Obama never did anything for black people, such and such. Put 10,000 black people in a room, town hall fashion, 10,000 average folks. Ask them what issues concern them most. And you tell me that the Republican Party is on the same side of most of those issues. We can talk about the economy. Everyone is concerned about the economy. That's not a uniquely black issue, but there are many issues that are. in my humble opinion, my personal analysis, most issues that the black community are primarily concerned with, the Republican Party is on the opposing side of those issues. That's why a lot of blacks don't vote conservative, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys have a different opinion of that. Why wouldn't a classy guy brag on himself, says Joseph Kuhn. Trump brags on it. Best economy ever. I know what's going on in Afghanistan more than the generals on the ground. I know more about COVID than anything. We can talk about a classy guy, whatever that definition may be, but Trump is an individual that brags constantly. Why wouldn't he mention that he had won an award for hiring more minorities than any Fortune 500 company in the United States? That is huge. Certainly when everybody's calling him a racist, that is huge. The fact that he hasn't brought that up does make me quite suspicious of it, but I really want to know the truth on that. So yeah, Trump would say something about that. That doesn't make any sense. And I see somebody in the comments said because it's not true. Yeah, that's not what he received an award for. I want to find out, because as many have pointed out, there is a lot of misinformation that comes to folks on social media platforms. That's the whole purpose of this program. Why would a guy who leans left have a MAGA hat up? Well, shit, I believe MAGA, Republicans, and conservatives in general don't often get a fair shake. So I'll make sure folks know when you come here, the program is and always will remain MAGA friendly, and nobody's going to limit you, censor, or ban you for your opinion. You don't have to agree with the host. Damn it, you have a right to speak. So that's how we run the program here. And that's why I do believe we're able to exchange more ideals between each other, because we do that. I certainly believe that in this tiny corner of social media, if we can have civilized dialogue but from everybody representing every damn side of the aisle and make it work every day for 3 years straight now, they damn sure could do this in Washington. They're just not trying. We make this work. I got an audience full of every damn body here. White, black, Hispanic, liberals, independents, libertarians, MAGA, traditional, everybody's in this damn audience. And we do this every day. You telling me they can't do this on a larger scale in Washington? Maybe it's because division is profitable. Maybe. Why do y'all vote Dem? Ask Malcolm X. He knew. Malcolm X is from a different time. Democratic politicians during the day of Malcolm X are not democratic. You think AOC would have survived in a Malcolm X? It's a different era. I get your point. And I would also call and raise you with Andy. Andy, shout out for the thank you. Malcolm X, for all his commentary on Democrat, you think he would have voted for a modern day Republican? You think Malcolm X would be a Trump supporter? Think you see Malcolm X in a MAGA hat, peeking behind the window with an AK-47 by all means necessary? You think Malcolm X would be a Trump supporter? So understand that. Going back to the box. Appreciate you folks. As always, we'll keep it moving with Drew with the exclamation point. Trump loves confusion. It works. It's valuable. Drew, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I got to thank you for doing this, because it's really refreshing to be able to have an opinion and not get beat up or outnumbered or anything. And it's really, like you said, if people were like this more, I think a lot more would get done.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming on. So what do you think? Why is this man disliked by so many people? Talking about number 45, President Trump.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is bad information, honestly. I think the press, because Trump ended up with a feud against the press, just really nitpicks everything that he says and tries to put him in the worst light possible. And the majority of the people that watch, the left-leaning media just believe it as fact, just like I did. I believed the news for what it was on its face for the longest time. Now I have to be more discerning about what I'm taking in and how true it is, and do my own research. Just like they just mentioned previously, Trump won a few different awards for minorities and things like that as a businessman early on. Why he doesn't bring that up, I don't know. But
yeah, I need to see that. I'm going to be flat out, Drew, with that. I need to see that because Trump brags constantly. If this was someone else like George W. Bush or somebody, I might be able to see it. Trump wouldn't let that slide.
Yeah, but you know what? The racist card that they try to pin him with is really only done in this format. It's not really done on stage. Nobody's calling him a racist to his face. It's always these side comments that call him a racist because there's really no truth to it.
Oddly enough, it's interesting you would say that because Trump is on stage calling Biden a racist now. He is doing that.
Well, I mean, Trump does a lot of things, and and look.
But wait a minute. I'll let you continue. But you laughed and said Trump does a lot of things. Is it possible that some of those things are part of the reason why people don't like him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it's not just a mainstream. So it's not just the mainstream media. Then it's some of it is his own actions of what you said.
Yeah, but you're right. And that's the thing. It's a double-edged. His mouth is a double-edged sword. It's what's gotten him this far, but it's also what makes people hate him so much. So in my opinion, I'm not really left or right. I seem to be right now because the left has gone so far left. And Trump to us, look, all politicians throughout my entire life have gotten caught up in scandals and liars and this and that. Trump, at least it's on the surface. He's not pretending to be something else, and then it turns out that he's that he's not. Like, he's been a misogynist. It's no accepted because we know that already about him.
I didn't think you'd say that. Okay, he said he's been a misogynist.
These politicians that pop up, and I don't mean. I'm sorry. When I get going, it's hard for me to stop. So I apologize.
No, you're doing well. You're doing fine.
These politicians get caught up in this stuff, but they have this, this very polished facade. But meanwhile, they're as corrupt and crooked as anybody. So it's just refreshing to have somebody that says it like it is. At least we think, for the most part. And is almost in defiance of this neoliberal, very Marxist movement that's progressively going. And
but when you wait, hold on a second. When you say he says it like it is, I keep bringing up the bird brain. Do you like that stuff? Calling senators bird brain and most overrated general in U.S. here. Do you support that type of stuff?
Yeah, some of the stuff that he says is definitely over the line, and I wish he didn't. I think that, again, it's a double-edged sword. I think those types of things hurt him in certain people's eyes. Some people like it. I don't.
Why? Why would anyone like calling a general that served in combat and protected our freedom when you've never served at all, calling that person an overrated general? Why people put their lives on the line for that general? Why would anyone on the MAGA side of the aisle? I'm talking about patriots. Why would any of them like that?
I can't even answer that. I don't know, because some of the comments I just have to dismiss completely.
But isn't that unpatriotic?
Of course. Look, it's part of his. He has narcissistic tendencies, So
I get the narcissism, Drew, but I heard Obama get hammered for not wearing a flag lapel, getting off of Marine One and not saluting the soldier standing there, not having a flag on stage during the debate. You're calling a combat general how do you get a pass for that?
Policy?
How about privilege?
What do you mean, bro?
In other words, he's getting away with things that anyone else would have got. I'm not talking about skin color. I'm just saying you're getting away with stuff that people would. You're not only that my war heroes don't get captured. He said a few things. I think he said folks who enlisted in the military during war were suckers or something like that. How do you get a pass for that? That stuff is very unpatriotic.
I have an answer for that. It's not a good answer, but I think this is the reason. I think Trump is who he is, and everybody knew who he was prior to even getting into politics. And that's just Trump. So it's like he has Trump privilege because he just is continuing to be who he's always been, saying, things that aren't really politically correct, having fights with Rosie O'Donnell publicly.
Yeah, but that's I get your point, and he absolutely has Trump privilege. And I see in the comments in regards to what we're talking about, I can't pronounce the name, but he says the news kept those stories going, Handsome. Damn right the news kept that going. They would have kept that going if Obama or Bush did it. You're criticizing generals. Of course, what do you think? You think they're going to sweep that under the rug? I mean, I don't get it, but I do agree with you, Drew, that folks are treating Trump like he is some kind of special family man. Oh, he just talks like that. That stuff is highly unpatriotic. You're criticizing folks who have served in war, and they're giving them a pass for it. It makes no sense to me. It's baffling.
I'm agreeing with you, but I think what they look at is it's the counter of this cancel culture, highly politically correct way where it stifles free speech. He's the exact opposite of that. He's like the epitome of free speech. He can say anything, and it's almost like.
And we want that.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I think that's the thought process.
No, don't say it's right. Say it's wrong. I mean, you're up to now criticizing combat veterans. I mean, is there any line at all?
It's wrong, and it was wrong what he did with what's his name? He was a prisoner of war too.
John McCain. My war heroes don't get captured. I mean, these are combat veterans.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of times, and again, I'm not trying to justify it, although it sounds like I am. But the guy speaks not on a teleprompter like every other politician prior was always teleprompted speeches. So he speaks off the top of his head, which is a detriment to him.
Why is that even? Listen,
he comes out with some stupid shit sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you that he's speaking off the top of his head and not having a teleprompter. I'm fine with that. That's awesome that he has that cognitive ability. But if you're speaking just off the top of your head, why the hell is that even in your head? To criticize patriots, veterans, combat affiliates. What the hell? How do we give that a pass?
He treats the political process like he's playing The Apprentice. There's really nothing. There's no. And again, I'm not justifying it. I'm trying to just explain it. It's about winning. Period. Like he's gonna say whatever he thinks he needs to say to win. And to his detriment, when he is wrong on things and he doubles down. That drives me fucking insane. I apologize for myself.
No, you're fine.
It drives me insane that when he is wrong and he's caught being wrong, he'll double down as opposed to copping to it. That of all things, more than anything else, drives me nuts.
All right, fair enough. I do got to move it on, but I think of that while we're having this, heated topic, and it's like, if I was in the military and I was, a POW, prisoner of war captured, and he's president, I'm like, damn, he may not come get us. I mean, his opinion of prisoners of war is pretty damn low. I don't see how folks listen, some insults, like one of my previous callers said, sticks and stones may break your, but names shouldn't hurt you. When you're talking about folks in combat, there has to be a line somewhere, and that to me should be over that. But my beloved MAGA don't see it that way. Maybe I'm overhyping it, but I do got to move it on, Drew. Appreciate you coming through.
Last thing,
sure.
I think they look at it as a CEO. Most CEOs in America are narcissistic sociopaths, right? But they know how to run that company, and I think they try to make excuses for all those other things because they feel like he runs the country correctly.
I don't think any CEO could go around criticizing combat veterans without putting his company and his stocks at risk. I just don't think you can get away with that.
Or,
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you coming through, Drew. Always a pleasure. Come on back through anytime, man.
Sounds good. Great talking.
You too. All right, looking in the comments, I wanted to run this by. It says an actual update from Joseph Kuhn. Real quick before I go to that, he said, I didn't say he would vote Republican. Talking about Malcolm X. He says the same thing about them. Republicans are honest about their dislike. Democrats will use you. I think that's an opinionated statement. But Joseph, real quick, Donald Trump was awarded an Ellis Island. This is the update to this. And I certainly want to do the homework. This is from Reuters, according to his post. Donald Trump was awarded an Ellis Island Medal of Honor in 1986, along with Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali. The award was given in acknowledgement of his German ancestry and his contributions to New York City. Well, that doesn't excuse him from being potentially racist, though. I mean, that says he was looking out for New York City. That doesn't say anything about the people in New York City he was looking out for. So that's a totally different update than suggesting that he hired more minorities than any Fortune 500 company. He got the keys to the city. That doesn't mean he was looking out for black folks. So that is a difference. So a couple years before the Central Park 5 thing, and the Central Park 5 thing is not aged well with Trump. Certainly when he doubled down on it. So nevertheless, a lot of interesting opinions here today. At the end of the day, I think that there is misinformation floating around about President Trump in conjunction with a lot of things he says and has done that also make people dislike him. Nevertheless, he is the top presidential candidate coming from the Republican side of the aisle, certainly highly competitive with President Biden in the polls. Make no mistake about it, 9 months from now, he could be our next president-elect. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I do appreciate the over 200,000 likes. That is a record for a show. Wow. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central, like we do Monday through Friday. Appreciate the follows. Have a good one. For you folks on YouTube, also a show like no other. Wow. Some of you folks like Joseph Kuhn, damn. Thank you. And one additional thank you for those super chats that have been coming in. And very livid, very interesting questions. Certainly got me wanting to do some homework. So absolutely, I certainly appreciate your participation. I like Ham. Just look at name. Barbara, as always, certainly a friend of the program. We see you often. Want to thank you folks all. You've made it a very, very enjoyable show. Certainly, I mean, I appreciate the generosity as well, but your commentary gets the brain going and certainly makes me want to do it more, because I do appreciate the fact that we can have dialogue from both sides of the aisle. Anyhow, it is your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, 1 p.m. Central. Appreciate those who have subscribed. Smash the like button. I'll catch you tomorrow.